Hey, welcome to the Dark Orb Kickstart Your Weekend Afterparty. Spent an hour over on YouTube talking about our three favourite or most interesting crowdfunding games in the role-playing community right now. They're all on Kickstarter at the time. And yeah, there's some cool stuff. So if you didn't see that show, then please check it out over on YouTube /C/the Dark Orb, because why make it catchy? I'm joined by my good friend Martin, and just sitting back in his chair, the beautiful Bug. Great to see you. How's it going? It's been a while since I saw you last. Several minutes.
Just yeah, it's been a hot minute, as the kids like to say.
Let's decompress a little bit. So we had three really interesting projects. Either of you, I presume, Martin, you're going to back Bottled Sea.
I am. Even though I've already got the Undying Sands, I'm going in for both, because what I'm going to do is apparently they're doing some corrections on the Undying Sands. Okay. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to gift
the other one,
the Undying Sands to someone.
Your daughter or something.
Doug, apparently.
I can probably get a press copy if you try.
I'm already a Patreon for Victory Condition Gaming. I already gift you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, but are you at the level where he actually just spends all that money on postage?
No.
That's the area of your ways.
I'm at the level. I think I'm at the level below the physical stuff. So
you don't get the shoot crate.
Oh, so you don't get the... No. Yeah, no, I'm not sending you a shoot crate. Actually,
no, I didn't go for that.
You get really nice dice vaults.
I know, but I went for the level. I went for the level where you didn't have to send me shit. I figured that I'd watched enough of your videos that it warranted giving you a little bit of.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Shooting you a little bit of money for your content. So.
Well, I just love the fact that Doug spends more on shipping than I send him every year. Not literally.
Well, it's not accurate. So here's what
you don't do it for money, do you? So.
I don't, and luckily I'm at the point where I'm at a point in my life where I can do that. I would rather just build a really great community and be excited about various products and just be like, okay, hey, I'm really excited about this. Here's a box full of stuff. I don't make content. Anybody that's making tabletop content, they're not doing it because of money. Come on now. It's because for real. That's
you don't want to know how expensive it is to run this show. I mean, it's crazy.
right. This is more than likely this is a net zero endeavor. Something you love, something that you're passionate about. Most of the time, it's a negative, for a lot of folks. But luckily, when I'm in a spot where I have, I just worry about, I just focus on finding cool things that I like and sending them to backers. And yeah, if it costs me more to ship them internationally, then well, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. I appreciate it, and I hope. Yeah. And to be honest with you, it's let me make some connections with some folks, and you'll see that in this next shoot crate, where in 2022, I'm going to be able to collaborate with a company and say, hey, look, this is a company that I really dig what they're doing, and I'm going to carry more of their stuff.
Well, speaking of companies that I dig, and franchises and brands that I really don't. Did you see that Wormwood are collaborating again with Critical Role?
No, are they really?
They're doing some.
I mean, haven't they been doing that right from the start?
Yeah. But this one is a full color printed, inked, painted dice tray thing. I'm not even going to bring up on the screen because I just think it's a bit obscene.
It's fine. Go ahead. Yeah, this is going to probably tap into what I'm going to rant about a little bit.
Oh, Doug, are you going to rant about the Critical Role Kickstarter?
No, I'm not going to rant about that. I'm just saying how I don't. Well, I'll say that. I don't want to go too far off the rails already.
I'm happy to rant about the Critical Role.
Oh, are you ready? You are. Okay.
I mean, it's a very short rant. It's basically
a rant.
Yeah, it's like, hey, you backed, you gave them millions, and now they're telling you to take out a free trial to Amazon so you can access the thing that you backed for.
Oh, they're not
Hey,
giving you
thanks,
access at
Critical
all
Role.
to it?
Yeah, basically they're saying that if you want access to the first season of the Critical Role animated show and you backed the Kickstarter, open up a free trial on Amazon from this date and you'll get the whole season.
What?
Wow.
No, they did
So-
not do that.
Yes, they sure fucking did.
Jeez Louise.
The
I did
cojones.
not know that.
And I'm just like, family, like that. What that? You know?
That
Okay,
is
you know what?
incredible.
So
I will be honest. I watch Critical Role. I give them no money because I watch it on YouTube because I like to watch a bunch of fairly talented voice actors play Dungeons and Dragons.
They
I
are
find
good
it
at what
quite-
they do.
I find it quite amusing, but
Yeah.
I did not back that Kickstarter, and I do not give them money apart from, I suppose, maybe ad revenue that they
Advertising
get from
revenue,
me
yeah.
watching.
right, they do get
But you're not
YouTube.
buying
It's not that
Critical
much,
Role
to be honest with you.
products.
No, exactly. But my God, how to treat the people that love you the most?
Wow.
I mean, what?
To be honest with you, probably what happened was, I'm speculating here, but I could well imagine that they signed on the dotted line and then found out what the conditions were. I'd like to think that's what happened.
Well, I mean, even if you're signing on a dotted line, if you're not, you better
you
read the dot. Like, you, no,
That's what I'm
like you
saying,
better
you
have
know.
somebody that really goes through that line by line.
And
be
they
like,
are
hey,
a private limited company now, right? I mean, it's not like
Yeah.
they're
yeah,
an offshoot
I mean,
of Geek and Sundry. They've
They're
got
not just a bunch of friends playing D&D.
no,
you
and
know?
I know
No,
quite a
not
few
anymore.
people over there, and that's what kind of makes me go, wow, I'm surprised that that
They've said is any people from countries that have backed that don't have Amazon Prime can get in touch and they'll sort something out for them. But what I'm surprised at is Amazon is a platform where you can download digital copies of films, series, things like that. If you want to give people access to the content that they backed for on a Kickstarter, they can give you a code for free.
Yeah.
Right? Just issue a code and you get to download that series and then you've got
But
it.
here's the thing, Martin. Amazon's not going to make any money on that.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
They're going to make money on signing up people to sign up for their service.
No, exactly, and that's what it's about. And that is a sad state of affairs when you've made what did they make? 13 million?
Yeah,
I
feel bad. Like that.
So people watching live, what do you think? Let us know in the comments. You know,
I mean, I guess
contribute.
We've seen it happen before. Like,
yeah, we have.
Mystery Science Theater 3000 has done their own thing, but they gave folks access to the episodes before it went to Netflix.
Yeah.
Or at the same time, I can't remember which it was, but they basically said, "Oh, you don't have to have a Netflix, account in order to watch these episodes."
So this is all stinks of just profiteering, really, doesn't it? And it's a shame. But then, I mean, if you look at the commercialization of Critical Role over the last 3 to 4 years, and again, this is not to kind of belittle what they've achieved. I mean, as much as I'm not a huge fan of Critical Role, and as much as I'm not a huge fan of 5th edition, there is no doubt in my mind that they have transformed the role-playing hobby.
Yep.
Oh,
absolutely.
For sure.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
Honestly, that's why it's more disappointing to me than anything.
Yeah, they are.
Because at the minute, for a lot of people, they are role-playing.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, that's what role-playing is. And that's like, oh man, why do you have to do us dirty?
That makes me sad.
Yeah, and because they used very kind of like woolly wording. They said, you'll have access to the whole season, and they didn't specify like how long that access would last, or it's a shame. I think it's a shame, really, because they have their detractors, and it would have been an easy win for them to just not do that.
Before we go on to the next rant, did anyone get anything in the mail this week?
Oh, I've got a whole. That's why I wasn't at my chair. I was stacking up.
We thought you were just taking too long in the bathroom, but
no. I did.
I only had a couple of things come through. I'll show you one of them, and then someone else can take a 10. So I have got let me just do this and then just get my camera up. There we go. Boom. And I'm struggling. There we go. Red Giant. Annoyingly, the overhead lighting is kind of... There we go. This is the limited edition red cover, aka the cover without the really ugly artwork on the front. And I just think the layout is really nice. Obviously, I'm going through this backwards. It's a cool little book.
Yeah, that layout looks really cool.
Yeah. Haven't read it. We all know it's going to take me a year to get through this. All 12 pages. But the introduction is cool. Life is tragic simply because the earth turns and the sun inexorably rises and sets. One day for each of us, the sun will go down. There we go. For the last time. Perhaps the whole root of our trouble, the human trouble, is that we'll sacrifice all the beauty of our lives. We'll imprison ourselves in totems, taboos, crosses, blood sacrifices, steeples, mosques, races, armies, flags, nations, in order to deny the fact of death, which is the only fact we have, etc., etc. I'm not going to read all of that because I'm a really weird angle and I've just pulled my neck. It's very interesting. There's not a lot of like scenario stuff in here. It's quite woolly in terms of the amount of world building that there is, but it's a very cool little book. And on the back it just says, no one knows how the red giant came to be. Some people believe it was an act of God. Some people believe it was due to ancient technology. But no matter how this planet became cursed, it is clear that you cannot save this world. So kind of nice. Grimdark-esque. There's some really cool stuff. It was a Kickstarter that ran not that long ago, actually.
No, I was going to say, I think I might have been on that Kickstart Your Weekend. That doesn't feel like that it was that long ago that you covered it.
No, probably, I don't know, 6 months at the most.
That's a good turnaround time.
But I can't bother.
Yeah. I got Solar Blades and Cosmic Spells, so
nice.
It's not new, but I ordered it from Lulu when Lulu had I think they had like a 25% off code or something for a while.
Yeah.
So I ordered that and the DCC thing. Oh, yeah, sure.
Oh, is that the hardcover? Yes.
Yeah, beautiful. It's the hardcover. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's yeah.
I should order another copy of that when they have another sale. I think it's really cool.
I regret not buying it. So, do you want to give a rundown of what that setting is? It's by Diogo Nogueira, who is an incredible OSR author.
Okay, so I'll do it the lazy way and just read off the back. In an ancient age, many galaxies away, in a universe in collapse, planets and systems struggle for freedom under the rule of sinister despots. Against the malevolent sorcery of the Overlord stand the few remaining bearers of the legendary solar blades, lightsabers. So, it's science fantasy, mashup of every single science fantasy piece of media you've ever read or seen or experienced. And I love it for that. It doesn't it wears its heart on its sleeve, and it doesn't shy away from what it's taking as inspiration. And it doesn't try to be overly serious. You can have those kind of games in it if you want, but it's just kind of pulp science fantasy craziness, really. Sure. Very quite OSR inspired. I think he says something like that on the back. But it's great, and I got it because it was on offer. It's been out for a while. I think when he's going back to do the second edition of the one, what's the one you've got, Phil?
Sharp Swords and Sinister Spells, which is traditional fantasy.
I think what he said was when he goes back to do the second edition of that, he's taking his kind of lessons learned from this and applying it to that. So
very cool.
Yeah,
very cool.
Shows what you got, Doug.
Yeah. On,
okay, so I'm gonna lead off with something that I can share something to my screen, right? I can share my screen.
Sure.
Okay, let's. So Luckily, I am in the midst of reading the early preview from Renegade Games Studios, the Power Rangers, the role-playing
friend
game.
of the show, Matt, is hugely excited by this. I'm not that I don't want to play it, I really do, but I'm not massively excited just because I don't really know Power Rangers that well.
I'm an 80s kid. This was Power Rangers is something that came after me.
Yeah. Same. I think we all are, actually.
I'm a big fan of the other IPs that they have, which is I think Transformers comes out or is scheduled to come out in March. G.I. Joe comes out later this year, and then they've got a My Little Pony one as well. But the Power Ranger one, I think, comes out the 26th, the 28th, I can't remember, of this month. So it's coming up pretty close. Yeah. It's like only a few more days. But they gave me early access to look it over and read it and see what I thought. I think I've got a physical copy coming. I'm pretty sure. I think that's what they told me. It's interesting. I don't know if again, it's a setting. It's an IP that I'm not like a huge diehard fan of. Yeah. I kind of have a little bit of surface knowledge about it. Reading this book, you definitely get a lot more. It gives you a lot of background as to how the whole universe, the whole Power Rangers universe. It's a D20 system with, and usually you have some sort of secondary die to roll along with it. And the better you are, or more proficient you are in a skill, the higher the secondary die. And you basically take your D20 roll plus your secondary die roll, and you add them together. And if it's like 10, it's a success. 15, it's a good success. 20 above is a great success.
So this is the Renegade new house.
This is their Essence 20 system. It's interesting. I still need to play it to see how I like it, because most skills they start out with a D2, so it's just like a coin flip. And then if you're specialized in a certain skill, you get to roll all the dice from your skill level down. So if you're like a D8 in a skill, you get to roll not only a D8, but a D6, a D4, and a D2, and take whatever the highest roll is, and then add it to your D20. Okay, which I think is kind of neat. I mean, on paper, you think about that, and you're like, okay, that's pretty cool. And then there's another rule where if you roll the highest value on any of the dice, it's a critical success. If you succeed. So if you roll, say, a 4 on your D4, and that's your skill level, and you add it to your D20 roll, and it's a success, then since you rolled the highest value on your skill die, that's a critical success. Now, the only thing that I have for a problem with that is, and I have to read this a little bit further, I haven't read the whole book, I read about 2/3 of the book so far, is if you have a D2 in something, you basically have a 50-50 chance of critting on your roll.
It doesn't feel right, does it? Because that's rewarding you for being like kind of shitty at something.
I mean, granted, you're only adding 1 or 2 to your D20 roll, but you still have a 50-50 shot of at least succeeding if your target number is a 10.
I guess it depends on what the and I haven't read anything about the system, but what the consequences are of rolling a higher total are when it's offset by whether or not you got a crit.
Yeah. Or if there are crit tables.
Like,
I like I said, I've read through about 2/3 of it. I went through the character creation. Of course, a lot of it's just lore to get you caught up if you're not a fan. If you're not a diehard fan. There are a couple things where I don't really like it, where they kind of insert some terms in, but they don't explain what they are. It's only later on in the book that you go, oh, okay, well, this is what this is. Like, oh, okay, well, it took me up till like page 160 to find out that that's what they're, they'll talk about Zoids or something like that, or the Zords. Yeah, something like that.
Even I
and
know
you're like,
that.
I don't know what the heck a Zord is, but evidently, you have access to a Zord, and And then it's not until 163 that like Zords are, vehicles or something that spaceship that
one of the
like,
lions off of Voltron, basically.
Yeah, and it would have been nice to have that information to start out with for anybody that's not familiar with the terminology of that.
Yeah, it's assuming a base level knowledge that not everyone is going to have, and I guess it's safe to presume that most people will have seen Power Rangers if they bought the game.
I mean that's the thing, and I kind of knew what it was just because, like I said, I have a little bit of surface knowledge of the IP. I'm not a huge fan of it, but it was just like, if you're going about, if you're explaining what an RPG is, then you should probably also explain some of the terminology before you dive right into the whole game.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of publishers do that. A lot of creators do that. They have a glossary of terms at the beginning, don't they?
Exactly.
That's what this game is about, and
Yeah.
I'm interested by that though, because it almost sounds like a little bit of a mini Cortex. With the extra die.
And now that I've gone back and watched some episodes of Power Rangers just to kind of get a feel of what they're going for, because a lot of Power Rangers is very goofy, very over the top, very ridiculous kind of combat. So yeah, I can see, okay, maybe a 50-50 chance to crit on something like that you're not really all that great in. Okay, it's kind of creating some sort of like goofiness that you're having some sort of epic moment and you don't really expect it to be. And I'm going to have to play it in order to see if I really, really like it. They're going to use the same system for all their RPGs, which is fine. And I think it'll probably fit some better than others. I think with Power Rangers being so over the top the way it is, I think it probably worked the best. I'm excited I'm kind of interested. I'm not excited, but I'm interested to see how they hopefully tweak the system a little bit for each IP. If they're just going to do the same thing over and over again for each one, that's not going to make me very happy. But I'd love to see them.
You've been waiting for a Transformers one, haven't you, Doug?
What's that?
You've been waiting for a good Transformers.
I love the Transformers. I love Transformers. That's my jam. Like, I'm really, really excited for that. And I
really enjoyed that Transformers Cortex game you ran, by the way.
Oh, that was really fun. That was fun. Yeah, I just hope that this system does that IP proper.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Cortex is perfect for it. I think
love
really.
Cortex.
Yeah, I love Cortex for a lot of things. I want someone to do a Pokemon game with Cortex.
Yes, that would be super cool.
It would be perfect because you could just have like in the Marvel Cortex where you had like power sets, but for each Pokemon. So whichever Pokemon you use, you have it, and it's the perfect system for it. But I don't think that's ever going to happen.
No.
So. Just homebrew it, I guess.
I'm excited to see what they do with Legends of Grayskull. Like He-Man might do. I think He-Man will probably, hopefully, I'm crossing my fingers, hopefully put Cortex on a lot of people's radar. For I think Cortex is under the radar for a lot of folks.
Yep. Yeah, it is.
Tales of Xavier as well.
Yeah, I mean,
because that's Dragon Prince. That was quite big on Netflix, wasn't it? So
yeah, but I don't know if it has. I don't know. I haven't watched it, so I don't know if it's going to have that huge of a.
Yeah, my kids watch it. They love it.
So. Do they love it? I hear it's good. I just haven't watched it.
Yeah, it's good. No, I mean, I think all three of us are probably more excited for He-Man so than that. With the right age brackets,
right? Yeah, that's
and Transformers. I will be pre-ordering Transformers as soon as I have a damn move date, because we're supposed to have moved house a couple of months ago, but everything is taking forever. I really don't want to pre-order it because I want to get the special cover.
Yep.
And I want to pre-order it, and I don't want it to go to my mom's because she sucks at keeping things in a safe place sometimes. She's normally fine, to be fair. But I know that I'm possibly sending her a 3D printer, and I'm not necessarily going to then have any grace left. And it might end up thrown across the room. No, she's great, my mum. But the 3D printer, the Anycubic Photon Ultra, is currently got her address on it.
Nice.
Which is, I don't think she's going to be that impressed when a huge, great big box arrives. I haven't told her, so that doesn't help. Mom. Yeah, so I don't want to order that book and have it come here because we might not be here.
Yeah, there's still plenty of time. I think.
Well, I don't know. I'm not too sure. I had another thing arrive. I can't really show it on the screen because Twitch rules are a little bit weird. So what I will do is I'll show you the cover, but I can't flick through the contents because it's on shaky ground as to whether or not it would be considered obscene. Do you know what this is?
No.
I saw you mention mention it in Discord, I think. Yeah.
This is Pistol Packing Bondage Nuns from Dimension Sex.
Interesting.
And
when are you going to run it on the Dark Orb, Phil?
Do you know, I probably will run it, but it will be as a patron stream, patron only stream. Honestly, and I really wish I could show this. I don't have the courage to show much, but I'll show some bits and pieces here that are fine. I just can't flick through it, the way that most of us would for these sorts of things. But like the layout is actually really cool. He says picking the book up so that he's cherry picking. And it's really art heavy.
What kind of system does it use, Phil?
Honestly, I can't remember. I want to say it's like PBTA or something. I haven't got that far. The Pros Handbook, Character Creation, Actions, page 29. Should we have a quick look? Move, melee, strike. Huh? Don't know. Do we have dice rolls? 1d10 for initiative, adding your poise stat. Melee strike. D20. If the result is less than your firepower, then you successfully connect. So roll under D20.
This is like a reverse Mork Borg almost.
Yeah. And the artwork is actually it's fun. Yes, it is maybe completely taboo, but actually it's very tongue in cheek. And I think if you've got a group of players who I'm just trying to find more things that I can actually show, because there are cartoon fallacies and things like that throughout. There you go. So, without wanting to offend anyone, if you've got a sense of humor about faith in general, it's pretty entertaining. It's on Drive-Thru RPG, print on demand. I would love to see this get a proper printing through somewhere like Mixam or something. It wouldn't necessarily happen. It's a thick book. So I bought this thinking it was a zine quest, so it will be 20 pages or something. And do we have page numbers on here? Yes, we do. 124 pages, including the character sheet.
That's not a zine, is it?
No, not really.
Not at all. But I'm very fine with that. There's a lot more content here than I had predicted. And I think there's a lot of game here. The author is Australian and has that very Australian sense of humor. If you've got any Australian friends, it's the Australian sense of humor is very similar to the British, so very kind of cutting and dry, and very tongue-in-cheek. Check it out. Doug, have you got a million more things that arrive?
I do. Yeah. Let me just. I think I talked about. I told you that I was going to order a copy of this.
Oh, crikey! Yeah,
so I got this in. This is. I'm excited
That's a much
for that.
smaller box than I expected.
Yeah, it is. It's a much smaller box. It's actually not
so cheap.
Yeah,
you can barely fit a single text message in that.
Finally picked up a copy of that. I got a copy. Oh shoot! That just all dropped over here. I got a copy of 5 Parsecs from Home. Do you know? Have you guys heard about this?
Oh, that's the solo RPG. Miniatures.
It's a minis agnostic sci-fi solo RPG.
Yeah.
Uses D6s.
Modifius.
From designed by Nordic Weasel. It's published by Modifius.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's kind of neat. It's a game that I've been eyeballing for a while, so I
keep
picked
looking
that
up Rangers of Shadow Deep, which is like
it's kind of like that,
kind of
only
similarity.
sci-fi. I'm more of a sci-fi guy than
I'm more of a sci-fi guy, but when it comes to role-playing games, I'm really not, and that really surprises me.
Yeah,
maybe I just haven't played enough like sci-fi. I'll run Coriolis again when 3rd edition comes out.
Let's see here. What else did I get? Speaking of sci-fi, I picked up this from
old version of Mothership.
Exalted Funeral.
Hang on,
Dead Planet and Mothership.
Oh, nice.
Can't get my camera to.
There we go. We keep meaning to get Mothership on the show. We just haven't done it yet. I need to hit Eric up again. Eric Alsandor, the author of Rain in Blood.
I actually played. There's a like an adventure, like a couple page adventure, called The Screaming on the Alexis in this one, and I actually changed it up and ran Dead in Space with it. Death in Space.
Nice.
Death in Space.
Death in Space.
Yep. And that was a lot of fun. Let's see here. Oh, this is a lot. Let me get this over here. This just arrived yesterday.
What is it good for? Oh boy. Is that the
Trudvang
Adventures or
Trudvang Adventures, the 5e version.
one. I'm sorry for your loss.
There's a lot of they shipped me there's a lot of stuff here.
Is this promo stuff? Press copies?
No, this is actually a Kickstarter pledge that I had back for. So they sent me the setting companion, the hero companion, a couple adventure books, Wormtongue, which is I think the starter, like the quick start adventure that they sent, a GM screen, a sheet of character pads, a whole bunch of I don't know what these are. I think these are just like little adventures, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's like 9 booklets in here. I don't know what this is. And then they also sent a novel.
I mean, you've got so much time on your hands that I'm sure you'll get.
How am I going to get through all that? I've
been struggling to read 5 pages of whatever it is, Electric Bastion Land this week. And there's hardly any words on those pages. So
that's
and you've got real work to do.
That's a lot of material. I don't know how I'm going to get through it all. I probably won't. It's 5e, so I'm not going to. I love what Riot Minds does, but
we'll give you till next Thursday, because next Friday, obviously, you're going to have to tell us how it is.
Right? Oh, absolutely.
Comprehensive review.
Let's see here. Do you have any more you want to share? Or do you want me?
I'm all out.
Okay. Well, I'm not. I'm not all out yet. So
of course you're not.
I got this in from Geektopia Games.
Nice.
Fearsome Wilderness. This is a minis exploration kind of.
Again, smaller box than I imagined.
Yeah, it's pretty hefty. I've got a pretty big head, Phil.
Okay.
It's about. I'm just trying to think for comparison. It's like a rectangular version of Star Wars Legion, maybe.
Yeah.
It looks like a deeper size box version of Dragonholt.
Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah. It comes with wooden dice and some tokens and some cubes and some cards.
Wooden dice is cool.
There's some really great ink washed miniatures in it.
Oh, cool! Appreciate it, kind of thing.
I've got to play this. This is something you can play solo as well. And there's different scenarios that you can play out. They're actually the Geektopia Games actually wants to make a Year Zero RPG of this game.
That'll be fun because it's
I think I have to take a look at it. They sent me the rough draft of it, so I'm kind of.
That reminds me. Talking of Sundrop, did you back ISS Vanguard in the end? Because there's 10 days left on the Pledge Manager if you haven't.
No, I don't think I'm going to.
Wow.
Unless you want to back me at the $300 level, and then on Patreon, and then
if I back you for $300, it's quite possible that we've spent a little bit more than that.
Yeah, no, speaking of spending a lot of money, This is just one of. I didn't dare bring all of it out here. But no, I have not. To be honest with you, I did not back IS Vanguard. I did back Nemesis Lockdown, which I'm excited to have come in, which hopefully will be in soon here.
That's shipping now, isn't it?
Yeah, it should be pretty soon. You guys over in the UK, you guys get your pledges faster than we do over here in the US, and that's
Poland.
What's that?
We are much closer to Poland.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's just that's the thing. Lately, is you guys all get your pledges before we do over here. We get ours like a month after you all.
Yeah. But yeah, I backed Lockdown, not the actual game, but some of the Nemesis add-ons for the core box.
Oh, you didn't back Lockdown at all?
No, because I've barely played straight Nemesis.
But once you play Nemesis, you're going to want to play Lockdown.
That's fine. I'll buy it when the next game comes out. I'll just get the old version.
Just keep going, be one generation behind.
Exactly. But I'll get it as an add-on whilst I buy a game mat for.
There you go.
But that's what happened. I just bought the game mat and the corrected hero minis and the inserts for Nemesis.
So the one pledge that came in the other day.
What did we get? Oh, the Juan ring.
Yeah. And I might have actually added a second pledge to this. That has, of
course, you did. One to keep and one to look at.
That's right.
And one to play, and then you get your press copy. And the fact that you were
I don't get press copy. No, I'm good. That's it.
I mean, you work there, so
I mean,
yeah.
if I wanted a press copy, I could.
Yeah, exactly. To be fair, I don't know. I'd feel really guilty if it's something I actually personally wanted. I would feel guilty getting it for free.
Yeah.
But I don't really want the One Ring, so they can send that to me for free if you want. Free League. If you want to send me the One Ring because I decided not to buy it, I'm fine with that.
Wow.
Free League. Phil doesn't want the One Ring. Free League. You can send it to him if you want.
Yeah. Free League. Not interested in your product, but feel free to send it to me.
Yeah, I mean, I wish
all reviewers and content creators had that kind of mentality.
Whereas Doug's got the opposite. He does want it, but he's never going to get to it. No, with One Ring, what it came down to was the realization that as interested as I am in playing it, I will never, ever run it because I don't know Tolkien well enough that I think I could ever do it justice.
That's kind of the thing, that's kind of my thing with Vaesen too. Like, I don't really know the setting all that well. I've tried to do as best, especially since I do a lot of public actual plays. I feel really bad if I mess something up and people call me out on and so, especially with the One Ring, and there's some really diehard Tolkien fans. So it
feels like danger territory to an extent. I'll tell you what was really interesting. Talking about Vaesen, we watched a seminar, if you like, on Monday evening, just gone, by a doctor of something at Oxford. That's very blurry. Congratulations.
Says there's my name in it.
No, it's a blur.
Oh, whatever.
I mean, I can do that as well. Is that for the Juan Ring?
Yep.
Congratulations.
Congratulations
on getting your blurry name in the book.
Look, Doug. So there was an interesting thing. We watched this seminar on Monday night. It was presented by an Oxford University professor about I want to get this accurate. Basically, it was about the history of Irish folklore around the stories of the old gods, and for example, you've got the literally the folklore story. So for example, King Lug, who is the young virile king who has all these cool stories attributed to him, and this guy basically said, we've actually gone and looked at all these historical stories from Ireland.
Historical
stories like folklore and sort of the oral traditions stories that we presume have been handed down from generations and that comprise of the folklore that you'd get in something like this, and for example. And the interesting thing is, because Ireland did not have a written language before basically the church and the English came over to Ireland. And bearing in mind I'm Irish, so this is kind of a bit of a kick in the balls. But it was effectively the scholars from the church that started transcribing these supposed folklore stories. And when you look really closely, a lot of the stories that we consider to be the traditional ancient Irish folklore legends, etc., for example, with King Lug is a really good example of it. It turns out that when you look at it, they've basically taken these figures, these characters from Irish historical folklore, but what they've done is they've taken those characters and transcribed Christian mythology onto the Irish gods. So I was brought up with the idea that it's the other way around, that basically the Christians came to Ireland and took all the pagan stories and stole them. But actually the indications are that it's the other way around, and what they did was they took the Irish mythological figures and basically piled Christian stories into them. So King Lug, most of the stories appear to be actually from King David.
Okay.
Who was also a really young, virile king who managed to achieve a lot of things and, be super strong and healthy and stuff. Just realized that this is all Duggo vision. So there we go. And when you look at it, a lot of these stories are actually Christian stories, like, David and Goliath has been put into another story here, and here and there, like one of King Lug's things, I think, probably as well. I can't remember it entirely, but this is all really interesting. The fact that it's come from a scholar who's really looked into it and really knows what he's talking about. Author called Mark Williams. He's got a couple of books. I just thought it was really interesting because we kind of presume, like Veston, for example, all those stories are based on folklore that has been brought down through the centuries, and it looks like actually a lot of it's a couple of 100 years old.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good way to erase people's culture by basically appropriating it and changing it to a different name. I mean, that's basically how the Christian Church worked.
Yeah, but
in Europe. So,
but they didn't do that. They kept the names and they completely ignored all the old stories. We've got no idea what those old stories are.
No, that's what I mean.
Are Christian stories, so we've got no idea.
That's what I mean. They appropriate it by taking the name and then erase the actual story and just say, "Oh yeah, no, it was like this. He threw a rock and killed this big giant," and it's hang on, no, because this person in this other European country did the same thing with a different name. What?
Yeah. Or with a curiously very similar name. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was really interesting. And there are a couple more seminars. This is the Victor Wynd, WYND Museum, which is like a museum of curiosities and like taxidermy and stuff in London. They put on these seminars. The next one's about... I think the next one is about gods as well. And then the last one's about like creatures and stuff. Worth checking out if you want to do something completely different and totally off topic that might feed into Vess and other role-playing stuff, because we steal those stories for role-playing all the time. Doug, did you get anything else?
No, that's all.
Wow, we've hit Doug's limit.
Yeah, no, I've been very blessed these last week or so that we've had a lot of stuff come in and kind of let's talk a little bit about how gaming is a luxury.
Hang on, let me find this. Where is it? Here, I'll pass this soapbox to you.
All right. Gaming, like, one thing that I've realized over these last couple of days is that gaming, like, and I think that we all kind of need to realize this and kind of take this in and realize that gaming is a luxury. Like, it's something that we don't absolutely need to survive. Yes. And I don't know.
We're very lucky that we can.
We're very fortunate.
Not many of us can. Even some of my closest friends are not in as advantageous a position as I am. I'm very grateful to be in the position I'm in where I can spend, 20, 30 quid on a frivolous book every couple of months or something. It's a luxury. Yeah, keep going.
It's a luxury. And one thing that so the reason why this mentality kind of came to the forefront lately is here, I'm going to share this campaign with y'all. This popped up on Kickstarter.
Yep.
And you can see it right now. It's still climbing like crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
Marvel Zombies. This is a game that was super hyped coming out, leading up to it. Yep. And a lot of people were really, really excited to see this come to market and come to Kickstarter. And then like you could hear like almost like a record scratch as soon as the Kickstarter launched, and people were like, "Oh my God, what the hell? Look at the price tag on this."
Yeah.
And I was probably one of those at first. And now that I've had a few days of reflection and everything, I think we all have to kind of take stock in the fact that gaming is a luxury.
Mm-hmm.
And this game right here, if you want everything that's part of this package right here, in the US, it's going to run you about $600.
Yep.
For 3 boxes with that big ass Galactus that you can put on your table.
That's more than I thought it was. That with shipping and everything?
That's with shipping, yeah. Because it's going to cost you about $120 to ship it. On top of a $410.
Oh yeah. Oh no, that's more expensive than I even thought it was. $410, but I guess so exchange rate. I was remembering it in pounds, which is £300.
So I was really excited about this game, and I'm like, oh cool, a Marvel Zombies game. I will be really excited about it. I'll probably back it. And then $410 later, I'm like, nope, there's no way I'm going to back this. And it kind of made me a little bitter just because of the fact that, you know what, I was kind of excited. I think for for almost $600 to play one game, for me, just doesn't make sense.
I mean, on balance, it's 2 games, right? It was 3 modes, really. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. I think
$200 each game, though.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And you don't get that much for it. I mean, at Kickstarter, at least, there are usually a lot of extras that are not available in the retail release, and that's the argument for going Kickstarter for it. Right. The problem is that there is no way in hell that the average Marvel Uber fan won't want the Galactus pledge, that one with the giant statue. And $600 is an awful lot of money.
That's $600 US dollars, by the way. When I say dollars, it's US dollars.
I mean, let's put this into perspective. I mean, that'll feed most families for 2-3 months.
I mean, for one game, and it made me go, damn it! And then you keep looking at this figure, and it's like 15,000 people. It's almost like 16,000 people, ugly. And it's probably going to end at close to 25 to 30,000. I'm going to estimate that but it's just like, wow, 25. And if you scroll down, I think I can scroll down here. If you look down, the majority of the pledges are
for the top.
6,136 backers have gone all the way in.
Which, if I were to back this, and I already knew that I wasn't going to, there are two ones that I would want to go for. Either all in, because I'm a completionist, or the X-Men Resistance one, which I don't think you can get on its own.
I think you can. I think because you got the Marvel Zombies, and then you got the Resistance. Yeah.
Yeah, no, the Resistance pledge comes with the Marvel Zombies as well. You can't get Resistance on its own.
Oh, you can't get resistance on its own.
No,
Well,
because they know that, like most kids, kids of our age, X-Men is what we grew up on.
So I'm probably going to wait till retail for this to come out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to get everything that's included in this
Mm-hmm.
Kickstarter. That kind of makes me sad, but then I then I realize, you know what? I'm okay with not paying $600 for minis that I'm probably not going to play, maybe once with or if less.
Have you got a Zombicide?
What's that?
Do you have a copy of Zombicide?
And I have Zombicide, and to be honest with you, do I want to pay $600 to play it? Not really.
Which version do you have?
I have Green Horde. I have Black Plague and Green Horde, and I have the first edition of Zombicide. Both
So
I like Black Plague and I like Green Horde. I think that's the best version of Zombicide to play. Yeah. I still would not pay $600 to play it though.
I think we're going back 7 years, 6 years. We went all in on, almost all in on Black Plague. There are a few boxes we didn't buy. We still haven't painted everything. We painted a lot. I really like it. We have first edition. We never painted it.
Yeah.
We bought the second edition upgrade pack for first edition, which came with some new cards and some player dashboards. And I am still really pissed that for the second edition upgrade pack, can't remember exactly what they called it, but it was an upgrade pack for first edition Zombicide. They don't even freaking send you the updated instruction manual.
Yeah, it's a PDF, right?
Yeah, screw PDF. If I wanted PDF, I would have ticked the PDF only option.
Yeah,
let me buy the proper manual. I'll give you $10 for it. I don't care. I'll pay you how much it costs to print it, but just include it. So yeah, that really wound me up. And then I contacted them like, no, you can have a PDF. So if I wanted to print it myself, then I would have done that already.
I think I'm the kind of person that Simon hates because I never back any of their Kickstarters. I look at them and I go, oh, those are nice minis. And then I wait 2 years until one of the boxed retail sets is on sale and I buy it then because I get absolutely zero FOMO over their minis. But some of their stuff looks okay for fantasy stuff. So like I bought Besieged.
Yep.
Nice.
For like a third of the price of what the box set was on Kickstarter when it was on sale. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't care that I didn't get all the extra stuff.
Yeah. I think I picked up the others like on sale for like $30 and that's fine. Like it just, I just hate it when they have a project that I'm really excited about. And then you go, oh, wait a minute. No, this is going to cost me like $600 to play it.
You could buy a new car for that. You really could as well. It'd be a shitty car, but you could do it.
I mean, so I had to kind of adjust my mentality and go, you know what? Gaming is a luxury. It's okay to miss out on certain things. And
it doesn't have to be though. Like I understand what you're saying, but I think that for those kind of games, gaming is a luxury.
Yeah.
But I think like if you look at like RPGs nowadays, it really doesn't have to be.
No, that's true.
There's community copies out there. There's people releasing PDFs for next to nothing. Gaming, the luxury with gaming nowadays, I feel, is time and fitting it into people's lives. Like it's finding the time in your life.
I mean, we have to put this into perspective, though. I mean, gaming isn't the most important thing for Doug because we all know the most valuable part of Doug's life is that there's nothing better than making high school kids cry.
That is a direct quote from me. Yes. Nothing better than making them cry.
If you want to know what that was from, then you have to check a previous Kickstarter weekend.
Is that really a direct quote?
That's a direct quote right there. There's nothing better than making high school kids cry.
That's amazing. How many, do you have a tally chart where you keep
I probably should.
This week?
So I have one student. She's adorable. She's great. She's just super smart. She made the offhanded comment to me one day. She's like, I got so frustrated with my homework that I just started crying the other night. And I'm like, oh no, like homework shouldn't be something that you cry over. Like you shouldn't have to do that. And so the other morning I came into school. I'm like, hey, did you cry over any homework last night? And she's like, no, I didn't. So,
So you felt really disappointed at that point, didn't you?
No. I was being ridiculous when I made
that was taken
comment.
out of context.
Yeah. I genuinely like my students and they're great. They're great kids. But yeah.
So Zine Quest, Doug.
Okay, so Zine Quest.
Okay,
let's
here
talk
we go.
about this.
Right, hang on.
Because
Pause, and go.
So Zine Quest has been something that's been going on for 3 years straight.
What is Zine Quest?
Zine Quest is this Kickstarter initiative for small and indie RPG creators and publishers to create old school RPG zines that are staple bound, not PDF, just not usually PDF. I guess you can make PDFs, but they're like staple bound. They're little leaflet kind of things for RPG content or RPG games. It's been 3 years they've been doing this. 3 years. Mm-hmm. Okay. We've had 3 years of Zine Quest in February. At the end, what was it? At the end of December or was it the beginning of January? I can't remember. Like one of those. It was a few weeks ago.
At some point over the Christmas period after everyone's planned all their shit.
Yeah. The wonderful lady, and I'm not trying to like disparage her at all or say that like she's
everyone's trying to do their job.
Right. Everybody's trying to do their job. Wonderful lady retweets or quotes a tweet that says, "Oh yeah, by the way, Kickstarter isn't doing Zine Quest in February, and we're going to move it to August or September during Gen Con this year."
Yeah, because we've done all the stats and we've seen that if we do it at that time, then everyone will have gotten off their summer slump and will have money, and everyone's excited about Gen Con, so everyone's going to then jump onto this and contribute, and it will be way more successful, and we can have a better cash grab. Paraphrasing.
No way.
There's
no way will it work that way.
So this bothers me. A couple things. Because I feel like you didn't consult with the folks that participated in Zine Quest previously. I know that they've said that they did their research, but how did they do their research? Did they reach out to Kickstarter backers or Kickstarter creators during Zine Quest? I would like to know. I'm going to guess that they didn't. Mm-hmm. The other thing that bothers me is that they didn't give enough notice ahead of time.
They really did.
That, hey, listen, we know that there's this whole community of folks that know that Zine Quest is a thing every February. We've got backers. We've got creators. We've built this thing up for 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 years consecutively. We've built this community. Now we're just going to change it last minute on them. So they've had people that were anticipating either launching an RPG zine or backing RPG zines in February that now you can still do that, anyway. But you're just not going to be part of this initiative. And I don't know how it's Kickstarter, and I don't know how well their marketing machine like pushes.
I suspect that everyone who was planning on launching a zine in February is still going to do it. It's going to be a big up yours because they can't afford not to at this point, right?
I mean,
they're all going to join Zemo instead, which has been set up.
Yeah.
Zine month. Well, not all, but I think that the reason Zine Quest did so well was because it was the part of the year that was furthest away from Gen Con, right? Gen Con is for all of the big
games,
for all of the big publishers, right?
Yeah,
and to put it 6 months away from that gives these small creators the chance to shine, right? So
it's also for those of us who are not paid weekly. It's also the point when we've all recovered from family time at Christmas, when our bank balances have slightly gotten closer to normal. There are so many things.
Even still, like the price point on a zine is what? Probably $20 at the most.
Yeah, but you don't back just one.
Probably, and that's probably on the higher side. Like we all can, like a large percentage of folks can afford $20. Like, you're not going to be putting out like a 600. I mean, but maybe you are, because you're Simon and you can put out a $600 Kickstarter this time of year because you don't give a rat's behind about people's finances and you just want to make money as much as possible. I
mean,
think,
there are some publishers out there, Swedish ones, that do theirs so that it takes money right before Christmas. I mean,
right. I mean,
that was good.
There's just no, to be honest with you, there's no right time to do a Kickstarter because of the fact that there's everybody.
September.
You're either going to be at the wrong time
of
financially with holidays, or you're going to be during the summer where everybody's off doing their own things and not in front of their computers, or you're going to be up against other Kickstarters, major Kickstarters. Like, I wouldn't want a Kickstarter right now with Simon doing their thing. Like, they've just sucked $4.6 million of revenue off of Kickstarter.
You just have to pray that the people who really want your game and can't afford it will just back that $1 to get into the pledge manager.
I'm sad. I'm sad because of the fact that, and this all goes back to being a content creator and being, someone that values community. I value community fairly high in my book. Like, I love building communities. I love being part of communities. I love being connecting with people. I love connecting with people that have similar interests than me. And when you do them dirty, like Kickstarter did, and I'm going to say that they did them dirty because there's no consideration for backers or for creators to just change it last minute like that. It really makes me sad, because you have people that just love playing games and love just creating RPG content. And I feel like pushing it to Gen Con just kind of sweeps that under the rug. Just be like, oh yeah, we're doing this thing. We know that all the major publishers are making their announcements right now, and you're gonna have all the new games are coming out, but we're still gonna do this little tiny zine quest at the same time. No, you're not. You're gonna get overshadowed by everything else.
They're hoping to cash in on the Gen Con buzz.
It's not,
but the Gen Con buzz is for Gen Con games,
right?
Like
Zombicide, Marvel Zombies, that's a Gen Con game.
Yep.
That's a game that you'll probably see at Gen Con in 2023, and it'll be everybody will be clamoring to get it because it's the newest and greatest.
Yeah. And even with RPGs, I mean, not saying that it will arrive then, but things like Alien, Blade Runner, these sorts of big label role-playing games, the Critical Role, Dungeons and Dragons, bullcrap, whatever. It's not a time for Dave and his $10
trifold zine.
Yeah, exactly. Trifold zine. How can he compete? Hello, I've got a zine all about furniture that you can find in the dungeon.
Right.
I mean, I'd buy that.
Well, you wouldn't, because you'd have run out of money because you're too busy buying that one Free League game.
I'm not saying that I don't appreciate Kickstarter. I appreciate Kickstarter. I love Kickstarter. Like, I love the fact that Kickstarter has become this huge vehicle that has made a lot of games possible that otherwise probably wouldn't exist. So thank you, Kickstarter. Thank you for existing. Thank you for giving our hobby some sort of unique vehicle to have games made and to community build before your games get published, before the games get published. But the direction that you've done with Zine Quest kind of just totally goes against everything that you've built up as far as what you've done with the market and with gaming and tabletop gaming in general.
I want to see more role-playing games on GameFound now. I would love to see a little bit of a backlash. It's not going to happen.
So here's the thing with GameFound. I love GameFound as well. I don't think it's there as yet see what I think has happened, and we can talk about this at length too. Is I think that Kickstarter has become less of a crowdfunding platform and more of a social media platform.
Yeah, it is. It's totally a social media marketing platform.
Because you're basically creating a community with your campaign. You're connecting people with the creator.
I think the problem specifically with Zine Quest, just to hammer in the final nail, is it's there for the smaller creators, and there's already a lot of smaller creators that felt like Kickstarter kicked them in the nuts with the blockchain NFT stuff, and they're already pulling away. And then the next thing that they do to them is say, oh, by the way, Zine Quest isn't going to happen. So you've got a lot of those creators that are like, hang on, what are you doing? And then they're like, oh, by the way, we're not going to do this thing we do that really helps you out. So it kind of feels like it almost, to me, it almost feels like a deliberate move on Kickstarter's thing, that they're like, actually, we are trying to push you smaller creators away while we focus on the people that can generate the most money for us.
So Zine Quest felt, even though it wasn't a huge like moneymaker for Kickstarter, let's put it
definitely
it's not. It's definitely not. It probably brought in more users, though, to be honest with you. You probably got a lot of new users for Kickstarter, and that's a big thing that they need to take a look at, because I would love to know how many new users they get during Zine Quest, because as user acquisition is a huge thing, and it's a huge metric, and I think that they're undervaluing that. And yes, I know that like Zine Quest only has like most zines only have a few hundred backers, but those backers are usually new backers, I think, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Backers, but they're usually old people.
Right. But they're people that usually just come on because they go, oh, I know this person, so I'm going to back their thing.
Yeah, my buddy is making a thing and I want to support them.
Yeah.
Right.
And they're also people that they can feed those nice little banners at the top to promote the other Kickstarters that are currently running. I mean, that's,
Zine Quest kind of felt like, okay, this is an old school. We're going back to our roots as to what Kickstarter was originally built for. We were built to make people's dreams and ideas a reality.
Yeah.
And guess what? We only want to make dreams and realities that make hundreds of thousands of dollars and millions of dollars. We don't want to make dreams and realities that are just a few $100s.
But you see the problem they've created for themselves here, and I find this fascinating that it seems like Kickstarter aren't clocking onto this, or maybe they are, I don't know. But all of these bigger companies that run these millions also get people to sign up to their newsletters through the contact forms, and they get them into their own storefronts, and they supply things in that way. So eventually they don't need Kickstarter anymore, and they can spin away from it. Yeah. Because if you say, oh, we're fulfilling through our own storefront, you just need to come and sign up. And when you sign up, there's like a little tick box, which is like, do you agree to receive our newsletters? So instead of getting the Kickstarter thing to say there's like, for instance, Free League. When a new Free League Kickstarter launches, I get something from Kickstarter saying a new Free League Kickstarter is launching. That's very useful. I also get one from Free League because I've signed up to their newsletters because I've backed them. So when a new Kickstarter launches, I get like a bevy of emails telling me, and they're not all from Kickstarter.
My big thing with Kickstarter, and this is one of the things that I think GameFound needs to implement immediately. It should be one of their first, like one of the top 3 priorities that they need to do for that system is to be able to follow backers.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you what, I know that people follow me on Kickstarter and they get a notification whenever I back something. I know I get emails whenever somebody's back something that I follow. I think the GameFound desperately needs that feature. Otherwise, they're just going to be turning the wheels, and they're not going to be gaining any traction in the crowdfunding market.
The structure of the UI is not there either. So, for example, it's almost impossible to find anything by category. Right. Even to find things that are crowdfunding versus things that are pledge manager. Admittedly, they only tend to have 2 or 3 things that are crowdfunding at a time right now. But there's no filter. It feels like they haven't planned ahead for where they want to be. So, for example, if you look at how... I was just going to say, like our Discord channel, for example, our server, I put quite a lot of effort into thinking about how I want it to be at the point where it becomes more successful. So the structure was there, when we had 4 users. We're now at like 60 or something. So if you're not on our Discord, come and join our Discord. I was doing this like you could get the link, but you can't because we're on Twitch. So,
Well, it's just Martin. Martin's the Discord.
Martin.
Just come to me.
Yeah, just
You
contact
know
Martin.
that at Bertram Miller is on Twitter, so
Yeah,
hit me up
find
and
him.
I'll give you the link.
Well, no one knows your numbers at the end, but you know they can try all of them.
Yeah, no, that's my Twitter one, so they can just.
Oh yeah, Twitter. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, they can just get me on
That's
Twitter,
my
and I'll
Twitter.
give them the
I'm
link.
just not
I'm
showing
quite happy
his
to do
Twitter
that.
because he's hiding,
Mm.
so you can't find him anywhere.
Mm.
But yeah, so when I set that up, I thought really hard about how I'd like it to look at the point when it's more successful, rather than having to kind of retrofit everything. And I don't think GameFan have done a great job of that. It still feels quite messy. Minimum viable product.
Yeah, I think when you get into the project, I actually prefer it to Kickstarter.
Yeah,
I do too.
The layout, but I completely agree with you that in terms of discoverability, rubbish.
Yeah,
And
really.
I really think that they need to figure out how to connect users so that you can follow other users, because I think that's the big key with Kickstarter right now is like I get probably a couple Kickstarter emails. Hey, so and so backed this today. Oh, cool. Yeah, I know them. That's probably something that I'd be interested in. So I click on their email, like, oh yeah, this is a pretty cool project. Let me take a look at it.
Yeah.
Do I always back it? No, but at least I've taken a look at it.
You mean you didn't back that Kickstarter that I backed for the nude bar wench 3D model, Doug?
No, I did not. I didn't.
Unacceptable.
No.
It's only an STL.
The other thing that I have now that we've seen this Marvel Zombies Kickstarter is going to it's going to break records for funding.
It will.
So at what point does Simon or Come On or whatever you want to call them, I don't know, Kuhlman,
I don't know.
They've changed their name so many times. I don't know what their name is.
Simon.
At what point does Simon just go, hey, you know what? We can just do this ourselves.
No point.
Yeah.
They will never. Well, I very much doubt they'll ever do that for their
because Awakened Realms did it with GameFound.
Yeah.
Awakened Realms owns GameFound, man. They realize, hey, guess what? We don't want to give our 15% to Kickstarter off the table. We'd rather take less backers.
Yeah.
And not lose that 15%.
Yeah. So I think
it builds something we own.
Own,
because guess what? If Kickstarter ever decides to just shut down, boom, you're done.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with social media. You don't own that content. Like right now on Twitch, you don't own this content, Phil. Twitch does.
Shit, anyway.
No, I'm just saying.
But no, absolutely. You're right. Amazon owns it.
All they have to do is say, hey, we don't
just like Critical Role.
Yeah, we don't own the Dark World content. Boom, you're done. You're done. You don't own that.
Absolutely. Stop talking about Simon on the Dark World. Well, the thing
at what point does Simon do that? Like, you've got to think that eventually, at some point, they've done 50 Kickstarters. You can't tell me that they can't make their own platform just for pre-order, because this is what it is. It's a pre-order system.
They value not having to pay for 2 marketing managers, probably. They probably have 1 marketing person. The rest is handled by Kickstarter, just by the nature of the beast. And I mean, Cool Mini are growing. I mean, this merger with Two Little Mice is just still blowing my mind. They've basically bought an RPG design house. They've got Francesco Napatello on board, who wrote The One Ring. I mean, there is something really interesting happening. I would be interested to see where ownership of Simon goes. Like, when we're in a world where a major Swedish investment company has purchased Asmodee,
right?
Where a lot of role-playing IP is owned by Swedish gaming companies, like video gaming companies, like Paradox, for example, where people have suddenly taken note that there's a lot of profit in board gaming, and companies like Cool Mini or not are kind of prime targets for venture capital or whatnot. I'd be really interested to see what acquisitions and mergers they make over the next 18 months, particularly if we have another couple of major lockdowns and companies start struggling. They have the opportunity to buy them up. And what they're going to do in terms of content generation. I mean, buying an RPG house is really interesting. They just last year or the year before did the Zombicide RPG. They've got a whole bunch of other games that that they own.
The Others
like
would be a
Rising
great
Sun
RPG. I would love to see the Others
yeah.
RPG. That would be cool. That'd be cool.
Yeah, exactly. I nearly bought that and I didn't, but yeah, the Others would be awesome. I'm trying to think what else. Even like Rising Sun. There are a whole load of settings.
Folklore, the Affliction.
That's Greenbrier.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Oh, Blood Rage. Blood Rage would be a cool RPG.
Yes. Yeah. Aeon. The Ankh.
Ankh. Yeah.
The third one in that series. Yeah. I mean, there are all these really interesting IPs that if they do a Zombicide with, a lot of people are going to jump on. They'll go through Kickstarter again, and Two Little Mice know how to make really impressive Kickstarters with lots of cool stuff.
I think you will find them spinning away from it though, because at the end of the day, they're giving them 15% of their money.
But they've been doing that for a really long time. So,
they have. So now they've got a lot of bank, and they can go...
And to be honest with you, if I were Cool Mini or not, I would, especially after the Zombicide, like if your campaigns are among the top 10 most funded tabletop campaigns of all time, which I believe Zombicide, Green Plague or Green Plague or Green Horde was, and maybe one of the other Zombicides, and now Marvel Zombies is going to be as well.
Yeah.
At some point, you've got a little bit of leverage. You either go,
you say,
hey,
10%, 5%.
You go, you want us to still be on your platform?
I mean, this may already have happened. Maybe
it might have. I don't know. Yeah. I'm just saying that you've got a lot of leverage at that point because but you're talking about millions.
Yeah, and there are other people doing it. I mean, nowhere near that amount of money, but Possum Creek Games that did Wander Home, they've jumped ship. They were going to launch a new Kickstarter in March, and they've just completely jumped ship. They're going to Indiegogo. So
yeah,
I know. I mean, I'm not saying it's better, but
I've seen a few go to Indiegogo recently, not just RPGs, but companies that previously we would have seen on Indiegogo that have left Indiegogo and are now going back. And I'm just like, I don't know. I remember backing things on Indiegogo and being wholly unsatisfied with the whole thing, especially as with Indiegogo. I want to say with Indiegogo, they take your money even if they don't hit target.
Yeah. And also, if you're leaving Kickstarter because of the whole blockchain, NFT, whatever, and you're going to Indiegogo, who tried to launch their own in 2018, that's a bit of a funny move to me. That's a bit of a weird one.
And the blockchain thing with Kickstarter isn't really an NFT thing anyway.
It's because they're using Ethereum.
They're using Ethereum, which I think, to be honest with you, in 5 to 10 years, there are going to be so many websites that are going to use it. It's going to be one of those things where people are going to use these websites and they're not going to know one way or the other.
Yeah, but it's not like they're doing NFTs themselves. Yes, they're using Ethereum. Yes, we agree that blockchains suck, but there is at least there's a security focus behind that and an architectural focus that,
right,
as someone in engineering, you kind of can see where that's coming from, even if in an ideal world it wouldn't.
Loads of online stores, payment services are switching to it as well. I think Shopify are going with it as well. So it's like, even if you're spinning away from Kickstarter and setting up your own shop, it's like, if that's your payment service, you're kind of screwed there. So
like I said, I think in 5 to 10 years, there's going to be a lot of usage of that people are just not going to be aware that, hey, oh yeah, this is a thing.
Sucks.
I don't know. It reminds me a lot of what the internet was like back in the late 90s, early 2000s. There was
so dangerous.
Right.
Kids can do anything on there.
Right. There's a lot of there's a lot of new technology and a lot of new different things. And I think this is just the next evolution of that. As much as, we don't like it, but I don't know. It's just... No, well.
Yeah. Well, on that bombshell, I think we've talked solidly for 1 hour and 24 minutes. It's been fun.
I mean, I talked. I don't know if it was solidly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's relative. I mean, there was definitely some hot air there.
Yeah.
But at least we didn't do it in Kickstart Your Weekend and drive it over 2 hours. So
it's true. It's true. So only the people that really want to see what rubbish we've been talking about will be here. What was I going to say? Doug, have you seen? I'm sure you have the trailer for the new Nick Cage movie.
No,
the one where Nick Cage plays Nick Cage, but it's not Nick Cage.
Get
honestly, I'm so excited.
Stop, Phil.
I would suggest you watch it as soon as possible. I can't recall what it's called. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent is about Nick Cage running out of money and trying to do stupid jobs like going to some rich guy's birthday party, played by Pablo. Oh God, what's his name? Pedro Pascali. Yeah, yep. The Mandalorian.
Yep.
And it all going horribly wrong. It's like the first half is basically him saying, "Hey, I'm Nick Cage. I've got no money. I need to take a job. I don't want to do it." And this guy saying, "It's a birthday party. They're going to pay $1 million. Don't be ridiculous. Just go and do it." And then the second half just turns into a Nick Cage movie.
I'll have to watch it. Yeah, no.
Check it out. It comes out, I think, next month or the month after.
Is it coming? It doesn't come to theaters though.
I think it does. I'm not sure.
Does it? No, it does not.
Let's find out.
Well, that doesn't depend on COVID, really.
I mean,
like nowadays,
COVID is going to
I wouldn't think that a movie like that would. I mean, although I guess you get another Jackass movie that's coming out, so I guess people will go to the theaters for almost anything. Then,
have you two seen? Have you two watched that? I don't know if you're Star Wars fans or if you even care about it, but
yeah, I love Star Wars.
I haven't seen.
Have you watched Book of Boba Fett?
Oh, okay. The last episode is so great.
So I won't spoil.
Don't spoil.
I won't spoil the most recent one, but I will mention something that was in episode 3. Right?
Yeah.
What do we think of the mods?
The mods dressed like rockers.
Because thank you. Because I feel like someone at Lucasfilm, whatever it's called.
Hey, Venberg.
had this idea, and they're like, right, let's just jam it in there. And if that had been on Coruscant or like a more like kind of urban, like planet city environment, I would have been like, no problem. Bit cheesy, no problem. Tatooine.
No,
I want to add to
Tatooine?
This. As a former biker, there is nothing you want more than to have the potential to be driving or riding at 30 miles an hour with sand blasting in your face. You get one tiny bit of grit in your eye at 5 miles an hour, and it will almost take you off the bike.
Well, having said that, that's why that chase scene was so slow.
It was like the slowest chase scene of all time.
I know.
Ever.
Well, I mean, they were all going flat out, and the way they corner and like they're cornering upright,
and they clearly just sped the footage up as well.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what they did. Yeah, oh yeah. I made the comment as we were watching that episode for the first time. I said, "It's almost like we're going back to episodes 1, 2, and 3 with this." Like it felt like so far removed from what we're used to with Star Wars that it felt like
it was definitely it was an homage because George Lucas loves that era. So someone there obviously went, let's put it in for George, let's do it. And no one had
find out what they drove in the 60s. Oh, and in the 70s, and everyone from that era all wore black leather as well. So, that's just...
But don't get me wrong, there was some good stuff in episode 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Even
episode 4 was amazing.
I'm looking forward to watching the one that's just happened. I totally forgot about it. It's been a weird week. What's the other thing we're watching? We're catching up on Hawkeye. We've got one episode left of Hawkeye.
I enjoyed Hawkeye, and I was
It's good.
surprised.
Yeah,
Get
Hawkeye's
Clint
really good.
Home for Christmas is the best Marvel series I have ever seen.
What was the other thing? The Expanse. The last episode of The Expanse.
I haven't watched the episode. I need to watch that. I love The Expanse.
Did you see, or are you aware of this isn't a spoiler, of the Easter egg with the pilot names?
Yes, I saw that.
Cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
That was really nice.
I love that.
Yeah.
Have you watched Peacemaker? Who here has
It's
watched
not available in the UK.
It's not available in the UK?
I saw the
I'm so
opening.
angry. Because we
Is
don't
it on
have
HBO Max?
Yeah.
We don't have it.
Oh, I'll watch it then.
So it is literally the best streaming series right now. I'm my hot take. This is my caliente take. Peacemaker is, I mean, it's not very appropriate. Like, it's very not not a Disney Plus series.
I saw Suicide Squad, so the
good
one.
If you love Suicide Squad, you're gonna love Peacemaker. It's it's brilliant. Like, so much fun, and it's like as much as I love Book of Boba Fett, and before the first 3 episodes, I was like, I don't know if this is what I want. Like, I don't know if this is what. And then episode 4 hit. I'm like, okay, yeah, you got me. You got me back to the Book of Boba Fett. But I still think an overall theme, an overall series itself, Peacemaker, hands down. They put the first 3 episodes up to stream, which was smart. And Disney Plus better freaking take notice the next time they drop a series to do that too, because Book of Boba series of episode 1 was so much trash because of the fact that it was so abrupt in its ending. It really needed 2 episodes to start. So Disney, if you're watching the stream on the Dark Orb, listen to me right now and drop at least 2 episodes, if not 3 episodes, the next time you launch a series.
We watched, and I know that Martin, you've seen this Netflix thriller, Stay Close. That's amazing.
Yeah,
I need to watch that.
We started to watch the other one that you said that was by the same guy.
Stranger or Safe?
Or Safe.
Yeah,
Safe. Not quite as good.
It is older.
Yeah, it's got the guy with Dexter in it.
Playing an impeccable English accent. It's really good.
Yeah, really good. We were surprised actually.
Clickbait as well is very, very good.
Yes, that's a very good series too. Yeah,
that had me completely convinced that other things were happening. Every episode was different. Well, it's going to be this. So we've got 3 episodes left. God, this is so. Oh no, it wasn't that. Okay, well, is it? No, it was not that either. Clickbait is great.
At Caliente, I was going to skip it, but not now. Don't skip it. It's actually so it's over the top. Of course, it's because it's Peacemaker. Like, if you were a fan of that character in the movie, just know that it's over the top. It's vulgar. It's inappropriate.
In all the best ways.
It's James Gunn being James Gunn in the if you love Guardians of the Galaxy, you love that ridiculousness of Suicide Squad, you're gonna love Peacemaker. And once the series is over, if they don't bring if it stays the same way it was over these first 3 episodes, if it's like that throughout the whole series, they better goddamn give me a season 2. Because otherwise I'm going to be freaking mad at John Cena for not picking up a season 2.
And if you can't get the series, Phil, at the very least watch the opening credits.
Oh, I've seen
my God, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. I've watched it so many times. It's so stupid, but it's so great.
Well, it's the fact that it's got Danielle Brooklyn as well, who I freaking adored in Orange is the New Black. Tasty.
Yes. Oh, she's brilliant in this.
Great.
And then it's got what's the T2000 who's the guy
Robert Patrick, who's looking so. I mean, this is me talking, but he's looking so old and fat. It's incredible.
It's so good. He plays that role so well, and even he knows it's always the people that know.
Yeah,
I don't know how to say. I don't know how to say it. But
I'm going to patiently wait for it to become legally available in the UK, even though the only way that's going to happen is
illegally stream it.
Sky. So Sky, satellite
pirate that son of a bitch,
have got an exclusive deal with HBO. So every time you guys get a free movie on HBO Max, we get to pay £20 for the privilege of renting it for 2 days.
Peacemaker is if there was a series to be pirated and to watch it legally. It's
No, I would
Peacemaker.
definitely not do that. That would be illegal, Douglas. I would never do this.
I mean, HBO Max came out over here when June launched, pretty much.
Yeah.
And
Such a great film.
I was sending pictures to friends in the UK, and they were like, "Oh, that's really wrong. That you should be paying money to them to make sure they make the second." I was like, "I am paying money to them. I got HBO Max, bitch."
You know what I could do, Phil? As a Patreon perk, we could have a viewing party.
Is that legal?
I'm just saying.
Yeah. My only concern with that is that then it will be like stereo audio at best.
Oh yeah, the audio is probably not the greatest.
But I mean, it was better than no audio, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, it's better than those old pirated videos that you used to get. I still
piracy
think
is a crime. Do not accept it. What did I say?
I was just kidding. Don't actually pirate, because there's a lot of folks that put a lot of time and effort in those movies. So don't in this series. So don't pirate. I was just saying that
actually the thing from an ethical standpoint, if someone is going to pirate something that you know you're going to pay for anyway, and still pay for it when you get the opportunity.
I mean,
don't pirate.
I still think that I don't enjoy Alien 3 because the very first copy I saw of it was round at a friend's house when I was, I don't know, however old, and it was like a really bad hand cam thing.
Oh no!
And I was like, I watched it and I was like, this film is shit.
Well, the first time I saw Alien 3 was on VHS. It was an official copy, and I thought this film is shit. So,
oh right, okay, maybe it's just that I've never watched it since because
if you've got any expectations from other movies, then yeah, it's not great, but it has its own merits. I'm just not sure what they are. The end scene is amazing.
Development hell, I think, had a lot to do with Alien 3.
Yeah, definitely.
So.
I'm looking at the chat here, and if you've got HBO Max and you can watch Peacemaker, and you're paying for it anyway. Just watch it.
Yeah, that they brought out this offer in Sweden where you could get it half price for the life of your subscription if you keep the subscription for your whole life.
Yeah.
So basically, if you ever drop the subscription,
you can't get that half.
It'll go to full price.
So So if they ever raise the monthly price, does it go up like by half? Do they just cut that in half? Like say it's 8 right now, or 4 right now, but it's 8 normally. If it goes up to 10, do you pay 5?
They said for the life of your contract, you'll pay this. I didn't look at the small print because I was like, it's like half or whatever I'd be paying. So yeah, I'll go for it.
So, I got stung for Disney Plus, which launched in the UK just before Christmas last year, if memory serves, or not that far before it. They had like a half price offer on at the time when we bought it, and I got stung on like the second week of December for full price, like $120 US or something a year. I was like, that was painful. I didn't expect it. It's happened now. Here's a question for you. As a TV series from probably at least 10 years ago, which I got reminded of because I've got it on DVD, but it's region locked, so I can't watch it because my multi-region DVD is somewhere else. I'm not sure where. The Middleman. Have you ever seen that?
No.
That is amazing. You have to check it out. I will send links in the Discord for the trailer. It's ridiculous superhero thing.
Yeah.
No.
I think I've signed up for every single streaming service. So if
Stars,
I don't have Stars. No, I've got Amazon.
Stars is on Disney though, right? That's what we get. Stars on Disney.
No, we don't get Stars on Disney. It's its own.
You have Peacock.
So I've got the free Peacock.
Yeah.
I don't pay for the paid.
Oh, what do you think of Bel Air? You don't know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Will Smith is producing with Peacock. It's on like next month or the month after a reboot of Fresh Prince.
No.
It's actually interesting. They're playing it straight. They're playing it straight as Will is a kid who's coming from Philly. There was a whole load of real shit happening. He had to
Did
leave.
his life get turned upside down?
Yes, because he was going to get killed. And
Okay.
so he moves to the other side to avoid basically being taken down by a gang, kingpin or something. It actually looks quite interesting.
So, why did they have to call it Bel Air? Why couldn't he have just like exec produced a series like that, or produced a series like that isn't called Bel Air? I mean,
so
why does everything have to get remade?
Yeah, part of me goes. One of the nice things about the Fresh Prince of Bel Air was how cheesy it was and how it was kind of like a family comedy kind of thing. Like it kind of makes me go, you know what? Will Smith kind of feels like his early gigs that made him who he was weren't taken seriously. So let's make a serious version of this. Like I don't know how well it's going to connect.
I thought it was really interesting if you saw the Toy Galaxy video about Alf that Fresh Prince basically stole Alf's thunder.
Oh, did it really?
And it was the replacement for Alf when Alf started going massively downhill.
I really don't think that this man, it's like making Full House, but making it like a serious family drama.
They did that as a Saturday Night Live skit.
Did they really? Did they made Full House a family drama?
Weekend.
Like,
yeah, as a skit. They took the Bel Air and said, first there was Bel Air, now there's Urkel.
Like,
didn't they bring Full House back?
They did, and they kind of kept it the same format.
Fuller House,
and they kind of made it that cheesy sitcom, family comedy sitcom.
Yeah,
why would you mess with something that's connected with folks and the people who tune in to like? I don't know.
I mean, at least we know the Cosby Show is safe, right?
I don't think you need to go, oh yeah, it's got the name Bel Air when you can say it's got Will Smith attached. I think that brings people in enough, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, they would draw the parallels though. I mean, and it doesn't have Will Smith on the show, on the program at all. He's just producing it.
So, yeah, but even so, attach his name to it. I mean, you know, you get people watching things because it's got someone's famous name on it all the time. I mean, yeah, that's a weird one to be. So what's Peacock anyway? I've never heard.
Peacock is NBC's streaming service.
So what do you get? So what do you get on that then?
That's what I want. Psych.
We get like The Office, the U.S. Office. Trying to think.
In the UK one.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember what else is on there. There's a free version where you can just watch. You watch ads.
Psych.
And stuff.
We get Psych on. We get Psych on something else though.
I love Psych.
Over here.
I still haven't seen.
We get Psych on. We get Psych on Amazon Prime.
Maybe
we get it on Prime Video?
We used to have it on Netflix and it disappeared. I'm a big sucker for like Psych and Chuck and White Collar and those shows.
Psych is great. I love Psych.
I still haven't seen the two movies. So the three movies. I've seen the second and third. I haven't seen.
We've still not finished the show. We only started watching it recently, but I like what I've seen. I really like. So.
Oh yeah, and then on Disney we now have the new Wonder Years.
Yeah, I mean,
it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I can see that but they stuck to the kind of the same formula. Like they changed the family and everything, but they kept it like the same genre, the same kind of heartfelt stories. Yeah, it's kind of like
But what they're doing this time around is they're trying to show that the troubles that Kevin Arnold's gone through are not the same as the troubles that an African American family would go through at the same time, which I actually think is a really interesting spin. And
definitely
for the options that they could have gone for. I saw the thing and I'm like, then I realized that the father is DeLay Hill, who's Gus from Psych.
Yep.
He got old. And then I watched it, and I've only seen the first episode, and I thought it was actually really quite good.
Yeah, I don't have a problem.
At the same time, did they have to make it the Wonder Years?
It wouldn't be bad if it were like, does it have like a subtitle? Does it have like, because they say Wonder Years, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like a lot of these shows that they remake, they should just kind of brand it as like almost like another series, but keep like that original name in the. I don't know, like
Yeah.
like Ghostbusters Afterlife. Okay, we know that it's gonna kind of tie into the
Matrix
Ghostbusters movies,
regurgitation.
but it's mostly gonna be about new characters.
Yeah.
I've still
Yeah,
not
no,
seen
they
that.
didn't.
Oh, you haven't seen it,
Ghostbusters?
Martin?
No.
Martin,
You need to see that. You do need to see it, and you need to see.
did you like the first two movies?
Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
Yeah, God, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, then
but,
you'll like
you
this
know,
movie.
I don't know what people say, hot take, whatever. I like the last one.
Yeah,
I didn't
Ghostbusters
I didn't
Afterlife.
I
thought
didn't
you haven't seen it.
no. I didn't get the hate that was directed at
I just didn't like
it.
the
Seemed
script.
overblown and crazy to me. It was
I didn't like the script in
was
the same way that I didn't like Bridesmaids. I've no
just
problem with
it
the
just
cast.
felt
The
like
cast's
there
great.
was so much misogyny wrapped up in all of the hate that was directed at it that it was just like, I don't understand where this is coming from. It's a silly film, you know.
It is. It's ridiculous,
and it was enjoyable. Like I laughed a few times. So I'm happy to watch the new one, but I almost wanted to see another one with the same cast as the last one. Maybe. I don't know if they'll ever revisit it, but I kind of like them.
I wouldn't have mind if they put like a cameo in this new movie with.
That would have been good.
Just to kind of acknowledge that it exists and like I don't know.
Yeah.
Even if it weren't just like the same character, at least put somebody in there that like, hey, you know what? We realize that this movie is part of the IP.
But they've kind of disowned it completely, haven't they? And that must
which
be
is
really awful for everyone.
Yeah,
I mean, the director's got a pretty horrible attitude, but I understand why. So, I'm not trying to belittle that. It's not very professional, but I guess, they didn't necessarily do a great job of being professional to him. But like the talent involved, basically half of them haven't really been in any films since because that film did so badly, and it's hard to separate the talent from.
Well, I feel like a lot of the cast in that movie have kind of painted themselves into corners for roles.
Yeah, like, that's kind of it.
Yeah.
They're
brilliant comedians. Like
great cast.
You can't really see them doing anything else besides like really, kind of off the wall.
Yeah, and it's a real shame because actually, I think we all know this. Comedians are some of the best dramatic actors.
They're brilliant.
You have to be such a good actor in order to do comedy well.
Yep.
And it doesn't work both ways. It really doesn't. But Afterlife you have to see.
Martin, it's and stick around. Like it's you'll enjoy it.
Yeah,
you'll enjoy it.
I'll get to see it soon enough, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. I don't know if it's on any streaming services yet.
It's on Amazon now.
You can buy it on.
You can.
We bought it just because
I'll wait till it comes on like the subscription.
We might even look at getting that collector's edition of Ghostbusters. The one that comes with the 3 Ghostbusters films.
But not the 3 mustard. But not
which of the first 2 are they leaving out?
So the answer the call, they're as an afterthought providing a digital code for, but they're not providing the physical media for it. And
that's kind of
speculation is because actually doing it as digital code, they don't even have to pay the rights for it because the digital code's already been signed off. So there's no cost for doing that.
I liked it. I kind of regretted not seeing it in the theaters just because I think that it would,
Which one?
I would love to see another movie, to be honest, another Ghostbusters movie.
Yeah, and I'm sure they'll do that. I really hope they do.
I hope they do.
We saw it at home, but we're lucky in that we've got not a huge screen. We've got like a 50-inch, but it's a plasma, which is, it's like 12 years old or something. It's beginning to show its age. And we were gifted when my other half's stepfather decided to replace his 7.1 surround sound Pioneer with a whole load of Cambridge audio speakers in order to put in like a 3.1 Sonos system. And he's like, I've just taken all these speakers down and they're just going to go, we're just going to sell them or throw them away. It's like, it's ridiculous, like, $1,000 worth of kit. And I'm just like, well, if you're going to downgrade your home cinema system, to 3.1, then I will find some space for it. Thank you very much. And now part of me is like, this sounds amazing. The other part of me is like, these speakers are huge. I haven't got any space for this. But that meant that watching Afterlife and some of the other movies that have come out in the last couple of years that haven't been able to go to the theatres for hasn't been quite as bad. I mean, it's not a home cinema, but it's better than having a 35-inch LCD and using the speakers on the TV.
So we went and saw Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
Never Going Home or whatever. What's the last one? I forget what it was. Was it Never Going Home? Whatever the last Spider-Man movie name was, and I enjoyed it. I loved it.
The newest one that everyone's going to get COVID for.
Yeah, if you love the Spider-Man universe and all that, go see it because it's great. The one thing that I did not enjoy is going
Spider-Man
to see
Answer the Call.
What?
If Spider-Man Answer the Call. Spider-Man Afterlife.
No, it's not. That's not it. But the one thing I realized is that I don't like going to see movies when they're packed.
Yeah.
When the theater's packed. Like, I was so uncomfortable the whole time. So,
Did you keep your face covering on?
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Which is horrible because, it is.
I just like, and it was bad because like we kept seats, like one seat, like it was the three of us. We went as a family, and we kept one seat on the end of us, like so that like we weren't like so close to it. But then like it was so packed that people were coming in last minute, and they were just taking in whatever seat was available. And sure enough, someone sat like right next to me.
The skit on SNL was for I think it was last week's episode was basically Joe Biden telling everyone that Spider-Man is the reason why COVID hit with Omicron. It's all because it's Spider-Man's fault.
Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man giving you
friendly neighborhood.
Exactly.
Great movie though. Great movie. I loved it.
I want to see it.
Yeah.
We watched Venom, the new Venom. That was fine.
Fine.
Yeah. It was. I mean, it's an okay movie.
I've not seen them because they don't appeal.
The first one was very good.
Like a Spider-Man spin-off without Spider-Man in it.
The first one was very good.
I'm not
if you ever saw
interested.
Spawn, it was very similar to Spawn.
I don't know if it was very good. It was good. It was better than most of the crap that's the Sony. What is it? Sony Sony puts those out.
It was surprisingly individual and unique in its approach.
It was.
I mean, it followed
better than most DC movies. Let's put it that way.
Well, okay, but that's not. Hard,
I know.
Is it?
The bar's pretty low, but it's no way near an MCU movie, but it was okay.
The one I want to see is, sorry,
go
Into the Spider-Verse 2.
Yeah, that looks brilliant. The first one.
I mean, the first was probably one of my favorite superhero movies. So, I mean, Spider-Man's pretty much my go-to character anyway. So that was fantastic.
Yeah,
all the voice actors in that were just phenomenal.
Have you seen the new Spider-Man movie, Martin?
The
latest one, the one that caused
the live
COVID,
action
the Omicron.
One.
Yeah. The Omicron,
no.
the reason for Omicron. No,
no. I have
Spider-Man. The reason for you should go watch it because if you love what is it? Never Going Home.
No way home.
If you love the Spider-Man, the live action movies, or if you have enjoyed them throughout your lifetime, it'll be a great culmination. And like it literally,
you don't have to tiptoe. I've unfortunately know some of
they did it so brilliantly.
Yeah.
I don't.
And
I don't know anything about it, so don't spoil it for me.
tiptoe.
Like literally, people go in that movie and cry.
I
mean, I can guess now. Thanks.
No, I'm just saying that like it's so like there's like you get so many adrenaline rushes from certain things, and then you're just like, oh, they just punched me in the gut for that.
I mean,
like,
as long as it doesn't have any emo dancing Spider-Man, Peter Parker, then I'm not gonna say it's. I'm pretty okay.
Here's my question. I have a really important question to ask you, and anyone in the chat right now as well. This goes to you as well. And Venberg says, I agree. Krista, come and join the chat and Discord. The link is at www.thedarkorb.co.uk. Go down to the bottom right-hand corner, thedarkorb.co.uk. Bottom right-hand corner.
Or just hit me up on Twitter.
Or me.
Or just
No,
contact Martin.
Everyone who's
He'll get you
watching,
there.
all two of you plus us, what are you more excited for? The Batman or the new Flash movie?
Okay, so did you
Oh
see
my
that the
God, that's
runtime
like,
for the Batman movie is
what?
almost 3 hours
Yeah.
without credits?
Yeah.
Can
The
I have a third
runtime for the
option?
Batman
No.
movie is like 2 hours and 47 minutes.
It's a PG-13.
What?
Yeah, it's PG-13.
No, I refuse. This game is making me sad. I refuse
you have to pick
answer.
one. But there is a reason why the Flash is the correct answer.
Because of Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton.
What, Michael Keaton's in it? Oh,
yeah,
as Batman.
He's coming back as and
yes, oh yeah, the Flash
as old Bruce Wayne,
there you go.
and they've confirmed that they've contracted him to come back as old Bruce Wayne in future movies as well. So this is only the first time. This will be the first time of multiple times that he's coming back as old.
I mean, I'm not
going
to
This
go
may be the
and
first
see.
good Batman movie since Batman Returns.
I always knew we were on the same page, Phil. I really didn't like the Nolan movies.
I like them, but I like them as a watch once. It's a bit like the Transformers movies. I liked them once, and I tried to watch them the second time and gone.
And I also blame them for the direction that they took with Superman.
What you mean, terrible?
Well, in the I know what we'll do. We'll have him snap someone's neck in the first film he's back in.
I'm still not over the Batman and Superman are having a fight, and then they realize that their mom's got the same name. So
I haven't seen that film because of how I haven't seen a lot of the DC films. I saw Shazam, really enjoyed it.
Shazam's amazing.
I liked it
because it was just funny as hell.
Yep.
Suicide Squads. I saw the Harley Quinn one, which was okay. It was just popcorn movie. But I didn't watch the Justice League. I haven't even watched Wonder Woman 2 because the first one was a bit blah.
Yeah,
you didn't like the first Wonder Woman movie?
No, I didn't like the way.
Second film.
I didn't like the way that a lot of her decisions revolved around a man telling her things.
Oh, then you definitely won't like. Then you definitely won't like the second
one.
Movie.
Was great because in the second one, spoilers here. In the second one, she basically has no problem with the fact that her, correct me if I get this wrong, though, because it's been a while since I saw it, but basically her deceased partner effectively takes control of the body of some random person, and he doesn't really know, and then she just has sex with this guy for like several weeks. Throughout the whole film, it's like, non-consensual sex with a zombie man, and then at the end of it,
kind of glad I didn't watch it.
She bumps into him, and there's like this. Oh, you seem familiar, and he's probably thinking, why have I got this itch in my pants?
It's one of the most usually. I mean, it's a thing in Hollywood that sequels are usually not as good as the originals. But that movie blatantly followed that pretty hard. That was not a good decision for the Wonder Woman franchise.
It's a shame because Kristen Wiig was actually very good.
She was good. I do not like the CGI Kristen Wiig, which was at the end. That was garbage. Bad. And but that was just not I don't know what they were thinking that was a good decision to make that movie.
Interesting little Superman factoid.
Go on.
Sure.
And I've discovered this through conversations largely with Americans online about Superman and different takes on why some people are okay with the scene at the end when he snaps Zod's neck. Because the version that I saw of Superman 2, the original one, it was on TV. I never saw it at the cinema.
Okay.
And in the UK, they put in a deleted scene where after he, when he reverses it and they all turn human
Right.
in the original one, and they all fall down and seemingly die in the Fortress of Solitude. There's a deleted scene which they put into the TV release in the UK where they're being led away by police, arrested, Zod and the other metahumans, and that was the version of Superman that I saw. So in my mind, Superman never killed Zod.
Oh, interesting.
And then I watched this, and I was like, "What? What have you done to my boy? Like, he doesn't do that shit." And then talking to people online, they're like, "What? What? Like, you're making it up?" And then like I had to troll around for ages to find it, like these clips. And yeah, we got a different version of Superman where he doesn't kill Zod. So
that makes me wonder. Like they evidently must have shot two versions of that film, knowing
them,
and they must have made a call at some point and made a direction one way or the other, and then I don't know, or maybe they knew it was going to go to TV and they had to make a lighter version for it.
Well, we had a lot of Mary Whitehouse did a lot of damage in the UK with the versions of films we saw on TV. Like Die Hard was just awful. Wasn't the film that it is. So that's why maybe some people have a different view on that scene than others.
Yeah. I found out yesterday, and I was concerned it might have been a secret, but I looked on IMDb and it's published knowledge, so this is kind of interesting. You may already know this. There is a new Wonka film coming, and it's a prequel.
Oh, I did know that, yes.
And have you seen who's playing Wonka? I'm really happy with this.
I think I do know, but I'm trying to think of who. It's somebody famous. Oh, is it Timothy? Yeah, from the Dune movie.
Little Dune boy.
Yeah,
I think he'll do a really good job.
So is it being
done
by the same people that did the last Wonka movie?
I don't think
same styling, or
I'm not sure. I've not seen anything about it. I just I have a friend who is in the industry and he's working on some of the effects for it. So
they're gonna go with like a super serious tone.
Yes,
make it like an action like drama. Like
I'm Wonka.
Yeah, I'm Wonka.
He's gonna do the Batman voice, isn't
Wonka.
That'd be amazing.
Dark
Taste
green.
my chocolate.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Bring out the Oompa Loompas.
Yeah, what are they going to look like in a dark version? Like, no, I don't know. That's interesting.
In a world without candy
comes one
boy,
one young man.
Comes one Wonka,
one
with a bow tie, out for justice.
Hang on, I've got to check this for a second. Hang on, give me a second.
I mean, the reason I ask if it was being done by the same people is because I think he looks like he could do a young Depp.
Johnny Depp, yeah.
In that film, like he's got the kind of pale skin, black curly hair, like the styling he would suit it. But
he looks a lot more like. Oh, there's a clip.
Oh my god!
So have a look on IMDb. There is a clip,
and
yeah. Oh no, it's not a proper clip. It's just some screenshots.
Okay,
it's quite the same. Directed by Paul King, who did such famous movies as Paddington, Paddington 2.
Those movies are amazing, though.
The Mighty Boosh.
I mean, Paddington and Paddington 2 are fantastic films, but they're very, very. I feel like they're very, very British films. Like,
but it's interesting. And he's done 2 episodes of Space Force. Now, if you haven't seen Space Force, you need to fix that immediately.
I don't.
That's with Steve Carell, right?
Right. That was pretty good. Not quite as good as what was it, like Avenue 5? Is that right? Which was
is that with the guy from the one who does Family Guy?
No.
That's like the Star Trek.
Yeah,
sci-fi thing.
Avenue 5 is Hugh Laurie,
Oh, yep, I remember
the
that.
idea with Avenue 5. So on this great big pleasure spacecraft,
Yep.
and they've got a whole crew that
was
works
pretty funny.
like under the bridge, like flying the ship, and they've hired a professional actor to pretend to be the captain. And then everything starts going horribly wrong, and suddenly the ship has to fulfill its actual role, which it wasn't intended to do. And it all starts going horribly wrong, and you've got this bumbling idiot in charge. And it's amazing because he's pretending to be this like really cool, sophisticated American, and he's a bumbling English guy.
Yeah, it was actually really serious.
Hugh Laurie plays Hugh Laurie in a Hugh Laurie TV series.
So speaking of just pop culture things, and something that we haven't talked about yet today, that actually we also saw that Meatloaf passed away today.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's rough. 2022 is kind of like starting out pretty epic.
I mean, we lost Jim Steinman last year, I think. Jim Steinman wrote the majority of Meatloaf's hits, and also like Cher, and like I think he wrote Total Eclipse of the Heart and all that sort of stuff. Big musical talent. Wrote a few amazing songs for like rock and roll bands like Aerosmith and stuff as well. And yeah, I don't think they've released what Meatloaf died from yet, but it was like 72 or 74.
72, yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know.
He's had a good innings, and that sounds like pretty old until you think about how old your parents are, and then it's like,
yeah,
it's kind of sobering.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that there's another gentleman that was very talented, very really good actor and great performer.
Underrated, actually.
What's that?
Underrated, particularly as an actor.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I
mean, his role in Wayne's World is like one of the best bouncers I've ever seen.
It's one of those things where it's like you don't see a whole lot of actors and musicians like in this day. And you see a lot of folks that are really good in one industry. You don't see a lot of folks that do both, and I feel like Meatloaf was one of those that was able to do make a mark in both industries, and it's kind of unfortunate. He was one of those guys that like has always been around for a while, and you kind of took him for granted that he put out these great hits and these legendary songs and it's just like, oh wow. And so when his passing list kind of like, it was like, oh my God, like dang, like it just kind of hit you. And it was, and not that I'm a huge Meatloaf fan or anything, but it's just like, there's another person that is not in this, not another talented person that's not on this planet anymore that you've known pretty much your whole life.
Yeah. I mean, I loved him in Rocky Horror.
Yeah.
And like Zach was saying on Discord, at Fight Club as well, he was amazing in that. So very sad.
A real shame. But I think we're now at that point where all the greats are, older.
We're just going to start seeing more and more. Yeah, I think you're right.
We need to start getting our contemporary heroes. I hear there's this amazing band of talented boys who are related, who are just the best group of related musicians out there. I think they're called the Jonas Brothers.
Jonas Brothers. If you haven't watched the roast of the Jonas Brothers on Netflix,
I still don't have a clue who the Jonas Brothers are. I've just seen enough
me
of the
neither.
Thursday show.
You don't know who the Jonas Brothers are? You guys aren't
They're
Joe
not
Bros?
a thing over here. I mean, I flame you all the time for the Jonas Brothers, having no concept of who they are, other than that Doug loves the Jonas Brothers.
Jonas Brothers, man.
Are the Jonas Brothers big in the UK and Sweden? Because if not, that explains why.
I don't know. They might be, but I don't think they are.
Not for my age bracket, maybe.
So I'm imagining the Jonas Brothers are like Hanson.
So one of them is married to Sophie. Was it Sophie Turner?
From Sophie Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I know.
One of them is married to. One of them is married to Priya Chopra or whatever his name.
Yeah, I know exactly who you mean, but I can't exactly remember her name.
She's one of them is married to.
I have conversations like this with my wife, and and she says things like that, and I'm like, I just don't follow who famous people are with.
Wow,
It's not. It doesn't interest me. Like, if they're good in films, then I don't try and find out about their personal life.
Oh my! Nick Jonas is in like some really good movies too.
Is you know?
Say the movies. Maybe I can. I mean, I could Google search it, but I really don't want to.
He was in that movie. What was the war
Jumanji.
movie that just came out that he was really good? I can't
Jumanji,
see. I'm
Welcome to the
horrible
Jungle.
with movies. Nick Jonas.
Jumanji.
He was in Jumanji. Yep.
He was in.
But that's not the
Jumanji.
movie I'm thinking of.
He was in.
I've seen both the new Jumanji movies.
Chaos Walking, which I haven't seen.
Chaos Walking. Yep.
Midway.
That's the one I'm thinking of.
Is that the one about the pinball tables? If not, I'm not interested.
Come on.
Now I'm gonna have to search him. Who is it?
Nick Jonas.
Nick Jonas.
That's basically all he's been in.
Nick
And Hawaii
Jonas.
Five-0.
I mean, they're mostly known for their Disney movies called Camp Rock, which a lot of, like, as much as we want to make fun of Camp Rock, like, that was one of those movies, the musical movies that like a lot of
Doug,
this
basically
younger generation has grown up with. Like, so of course those people, I'm gonna click out of that.
I think because Disney Plus is, Disney Plus has only just really come out in Sweden as well. So unless you had like a Disney channel, you weren't watching anything like that. It wasn't on any kind of channels that we would watch, like my kids would watch.
So you didn't have like the Disney Channel growing up?
No,
no.
Oh,
okay.
No,
see, that's a thing.
My parents got Sky, which is the equivalent of like cable, when I went to university. So when I went to university, like they got it. So all I'd ever had was like the 5 channels.
Yeah, that's kind of what we had.
So
yeah, same here.
Yeah, so
no,
I missed out on that.
I'm just gonna catch up with the chat because we've kind of neglected it a little bit. Christo was saying there are a couple of things here. Askeladen, which I had a little look just now whilst we're talking. It's not, I don't think, available in the UK Netflix. In English, it's the Ash Lad in the Hall of the Mountain King. I haven't been able to find it, but the image of the cover looks incredible.
I'm just going to check my Netflix while we're on.
But that reminds me of how much I want to see The Norseman.
Sweetie. So,
I'm just going to see if it's called Mountain King.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Askeladen I Dovregubbens hall.
I mean, let's take a look at these guys.
Are we looking at the Jonas Brothers again?
Like, who wouldn't want to hang out with these guys?
Me.
They're sharp dressers.
They're a bit preppy for me. I mean, I will happily hang out with Taylor Momsen, but not these guys.
Come on.
I'd look so out of place with these young children that you're.
They look like the kind of guys that would have bullied me at school. So
they look like the kind of people who sell stuff at work. Like they're sales people. They can say, "Hi, do you want to buy our? I've got this amazing pair of sneakers. Would you like to buy it?"
Like, I mean, come on.
I mean, I understand.
They work at Gap.
I understand.
They're Abercrombie and Fitch.
There's an appeal there for a certain demographic, including Doug.
I mean, and they make brilliant music. I'm just going to say.
You have to remember that Doug was a sports kid.
Okay.
Doug
I mean, so maybe Doug would have been one of the guys at school that bullied me as well.
No, I didn't bully. I tried not to bully. I tried to include everybody.
Doug, would you have joined Cobra Kai, or would you have joined Eagle Fang, or would you have joined Miyagi-Do?
So I took karate growing up. I was part of Fred Villari's karate studio. Plugged to Fred.
That sounds like a circus act.
Lots of tumbling and
Villari. I'm only thinking of Villari meaning fly, right? So
I mean, I did jiu-jitsu while I was
did a bit of
growing up,
judo.
but it wasn't because I was good at it.
But the kid as you were then, which of those 3 dojos would you have joined?
I don't know what I would have just joined whichever ones my friends were probably at.
Oh.
My friends probably wouldn't have been Cobra Kai because we weren't jerks. Like at least I think we weren't. I don't know. Like looking back on it now, like I would like to think that like we were. What's that?
Let us know in the comments.
I think we were
Doug,
pretty decent kids.
An important question: would you have swept the leg?
I would have definitely.
Yeah.
Put him in a body bag.
Yeah, he deserved it. I mean, what he was doing stood like that, God alone knows. No, Jonas Brothers. That's one of those ones that I've obviously missed. I think that's
Martin.
And are you okay with that, Martin? I think I'm okay.
You know, I feel like my life isn't empty for not having them in it.
I think once you listen to the Jonas Brothers music, you'll be like, oh my God, I've never been living my best life until just now.
Okay. I'm on a bit of a synth metal vibe at the minute.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you'll totally love Jonas Brothers then.
Doug, which album?
You'll totally, it's basically the same thing, Martin. Yeah, definitely.
Seriously, Doug, which album should we listen to? I will make it my pledge to listen to that Jonas Brothers album this week.
Okay, so you need to listen to.
I will genuinely tell you what I think next week.
Jonas Brothers. Let me just.
He doesn't even know the name of the albums. I mean, what kind of a fan are you? Bet you don't even know all the words to all the songs.
Oh no, I do know all the I do know. Happiness Begins is the definitely listen to that one. That one's probably my go-to.
Okay, I'm not ribbing you here. I will listen to it this week.
Happiness Begins. If you have Amazon Music streaming, I think it's available on there because that's usually where I listen to it.
That'd be ridiculous. Yeah. I've got Spotify and Apple Music. Why would I?
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
I don't know. Happiness Begins. Just listen to that album. That's actually that.
You know what? I'll put it. Happiness Begins. It'll be on Spotify probably.
Okay.
I'll put it on for my girls.
I'm gonna listen to it nonstop.
I'll put it on for my girls and see if they like it.
Yeah.
So
that's a good shout.
Happiness Begins has a little bit of an emotional pull for me because, like, for a while there, like they broke up because Nick felt he was too famous for the group. And so they split back. I think it was back in 2014, 2015. They broke up, and we thought we were never going to get Jonas Brothers music again because they all went out and did their own solo thing. But then in 2019,
I can't tell if this is like a
this is joke or
2019
because he's got a bit of a grin.
He has.
The miraculous thing happened. The stars aligned. God parted the.
And that's enough of Doug.
Okay. Okay, so now I know he is joking.
Well, no, only half joking.
The Holy Trinity came back together.
Well, they're three
the brother, and the other brother.
The Jonas brother, the Jonas brother, and the other Jonas brother. And actually, there's 4 Jonas brothers, but one of them just doesn't like to be in the public.
He's one from another mother.
No, there's another. Okay. There's a lost Jonas brother. His name is Doug Jonas, and it's not named Doug Jonas. But they came together, and now that they've done their own separate things, they're even more powerful than they were before. And Happiness Begins is the culmination of not only what they were able to experience previously, but now they've taken experience that they've all gained separately and made Happiness Begins. And
great,
the world is better off
some of their parts.
This wonderful story that Doug is telling us about the Jonas Brothers has literally halved our viewer count.
What?
One person left.
You've halved our viewer count.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
That's totally on them. If they don't want to live their lives to the best of their abilities by listening to Jonas Brothers music, then that's on them.
So I will give that a go.
There's an English equivalent, British equivalent that we could say.
The
Beatles. The Beatles is basically
no, yeah, but I'm sorry. Did you just compare the?
So there's a roast video where you know what roast videos are, right? Like where they do roast, So they have a roast like movie where like people come on and roast them, and John Legend comes on and sings this song about the greatest like group of all time, and he's like, "Hey," and like the whole punchline is, "Hey, you're not the Beatles, but you're pretty nice guys." Like, and like the whole song, he like talks about how famous this group is, and like the whole song is like him talking about how they've won a, you know, they gather all these crowds and they have sellout shows, and like the whole time you think that he's talking about the Jonas Brothers, but he's actually singing about the Beatles, and they're like, but you know, you're all right too. You're not that bad.
I actually have had a craving this week to rewatch La La Land. Just putting it out there. John Legend was great in that.
I love John Legend. John Legend is a phenomenal human being.
So I have been listening to and trying to get comfortable with, if that makes any sense. One of my favorite bands of all time is Counting Crows. They put out a new album last year, and I don't quite dig it, and I've been trying to get there.
So I've seen Counting Crows live a few times.
I've seen them once live, I think.
Oh my god.
That
the
was
last
the
show that I
Hard
saw
Candy
them
show.
at, they were not good.
Yeah.
It felt really, really bad. And like I actually left.
Wow.
That's the first concert that I actually got up mid. Like it was a 3-act, like there was 3 bands. They were all really good. They were all like 90s bands. And Counting Crows was the last band. They were like the headliner. And we left halfway through the show. Their set, I should say.
So we've got tickets in like May and June. In fact, this might all be June. I can't quite recall. Crash Test Dummies.
Oh, nice.
Aerosmith.
Okay.
And Billy Idol.
Nice. That's a good show right there. That's all one show?
No, that's 3 shows within like 5 weeks of each other.
Oh.
Huh, that's cool.
That would be an amazing individual show, but
I feel like Counting Crows, Crash Test Dummies, Hootie and the Blowfish.
Yeah.
Oh, Hootie and the Blowfish is a great.
There's a lot of bands around then that I listen to, and
Ben Folds.
I've been a bit. I really like Ben Folds. He played at my uni when I first started. It was within a couple of he was Ben Folds 5 rather than just Ben Folds, and someone in the crowd threw a shoe at him and he started playing the piano with the shoe.
That's awesome.
I was just like, I don't want to call it rock and roll, but it was definitely something. It was
rock
cool.
And soul.
Yeah. Ah, nice.
Hootie and the Blowfish is hands down my favorite concert of all time.
Better than the Jonas Brothers.
I've never been to a Jonas Brothers. Like that's on my bucket list. That's on my bucket list.
Call yourself a fan, and you haven't even gone to suckle at their breath.
Phil, they were playing like the next state over, like a couple hours away from me.
Yeah, and you still.
But then COVID happened, and it basically ruined my life.
I mean, you know, that just tells me that you procrastinated for 10 years.
Dude, they broke up.
Get the net.
They broke up.
So if you loved them that much, you should have gone on their first tour as their roadie for free.
But you don't understand. Like, listen to Happiness Begins.
I will
understand.
I will.
It will.
Can I at least get an idea what the genre is so that I can prep myself? And...
I'm guessing it's like Disney Kid.
No.
Yeah. I'm just thinking it's like Hanson. This is gonna be like, Doug, Baruda.
No. Hanson's still rocking.
You can tell it's past midnight when Phil starts singing. So, it's only past midnight for me. Oh, well.
Hanson's still rocking it, by the way. They're still selling out shows. I would, as much as we like to make fun of Hanson, I would be okay with a Hanson like career, because even at like, how old are those guys now? In their 30s.
12.
What the oldest one is probably in their 50s, because he was always like 20 years older than the other ones. But like, they're still making money making songs and selling shows.
Ages now. 36, 38, 28, 41, 38, 36, 28.
Yeah. Like, as much as we want to make fun of like Hanson,
they're great musicians.
They're still living that life.
I still want to go to a Miley concert, so I can't really, cast.
And that's our show, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in.
How can you not appreciate Miley Cyrus?
and you don't know who the Jonas Brothers are.
They're just not a thing here.
I mean, I have no idea who Miley Cyrus is, so
Really?
I'm just like
Hannah Montana.
I mean, I'm thinking like current
that.
Miley
Now that
stuff.
rings a bell.
That was a
I never
Disney
saw
Channel
Hannah
show. That
Montana.
was like a
Okay.
Disney. Like that's the
Yeah.
same thing. Like with
I think
the
I've
Jonas
seen that
Brothers.
come up when the kids are on YouTube. I think I've seen something
Yeah.
Hannah Montana come
But
up.
like current Miley Cyrus stuff, which is like a mixture of rock and country, is very good.
I
think just Jonas Brothers, as far as I know, just aren't a thing in the UK. No, the
Well,
marketing machine just hasn't.
I'm on a mission to change that.
Well,
and
let's do
Sweden.
it. So I think what you need to do, Doug, is you need to start up your second stream.
Yeah. Doug's music stream.
Yeah.
Where I just like it's just me fanboying over me being
Jonas condition.
Yeah.
Victory condition Jonas.
I think you would have a hard time in Sweden, what with a lot of people's obsession with Melody Festivalen over here. You'd have a hard time. You'd have a hard time breaking through that.
Yeah.
That's the obsession over in Sweden, which I don't partake of at all.
I missed that. What was that? I was too busy giggling at Venberg's comments.
Melody Festivalen. It's like it's the build up to the Eurovision. So it's like the reality TV thing they do before the Eurovision Song Contest.
Yeah, do you get the Eurovision out there, Doug?
No, that's not a thing here.
No. There you go. That's probably the equivalent then.
Yeah,
Eurovision.
Yeah.
Is like.
Have you seen? And I'm sure Martin has seen this. The Eurovision film Fire Saga.
You know what? I haven't actually.
I
know of it, but
it's hilarious, and Will Ferrell is amazing.
Yeah, I like those. Well, I think Will Ferrell is the perfect choice as well because I think he has a Swedish wife and he has a house in a place where one of my wife's friends lives in Sweden. So I think he's a good choice.
He nails the Norrlander accent very, very well. I think I'm trying to think whether they're supposed to be Swedish or not, or if it's Norwegian or something.
At the last whatever it was, the talking
Iceland.
about soccer now, Doug. By the way, I nearly said football, but I'll change it to soccer.
I know nothing
about
football or soccer.
No, I don't really either. It was just at the last whatever it was, Euros or whatever. Will Ferrell recorded a video to the Swedish football team, partially in very bad Swedish.
It make you feel good about yourself.
Where he was like, it did actually make me feel really good about my Swedish. Yeah. It was quite funny. You'll probably be able to track it down online. It was very funny. So
yeah. So check out Fire Saga, Doug. I think you'll appreciate that.
I'll take a look. Yeah.
It's Will Ferrell and Rachel Adams. McAdams. Thingy from Sherlock. Very funny. It's Iceland, not Sweden. I couldn't remember. But yeah, basically playing. It's that story of the kids who just want to follow their creative dream, but their parents don't want them to do it. But they end up trying and failing, and then they try harder, and then they succeed. That kind of,
Okay.
Right.
So it's basically the singing version of Flashdance or whatever.
Yeah.
Footloose, but with Will Ferrell.
Yeah, sounds good.
In guyliner, dressed as a Viking.
Excellent. Because he did that one when he was a figure skater as well, didn't he?
Oh yeah.
That was great. No, not Balls of Steel. Blades of Glory.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
I
can't remember what it's called.
It's been Blades 2.5 hours. It's been 3.5 hours since we started streaming. If you include,
I think I need to go and collapse.
I think I need to go and collapse.
No, you need to go and put some Jonas Brothers on. Fall asleep.
Shut up, Doug.
It's like Doug's just at home.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know what? Yeah. You know what though, Doug? I am going to put it on for my kids tomorrow.
Okay. Let me know what you think.
I'll come in your Discord and let you know.
It's if you're used to what do you say you've been listening to?
Me?
Yeah.
Like Dance with the Dead have released like a new album this year, which is kind of like synthy, metally stuff.
Yeah,
like,
it's totally. It's that same genre.
Yeah.
I've been listening non-stop pretty much to the Pretty Reckless for the last.
Oh, I love the Pretty Reckless.
25 is just a song
So
that
good.
just gets me every time. I mean,
And
it
the
should have
fact
been a
that she's the
song,
little kid out of the Grinch is just
Yeah.
such a mind.
Yeah, there's a child actor for you to
Nice.
admire. So yeah,
So
Taylor
weird.
Momsen in the Pretty Reckless. So Doug, that's your homework. You need to listen to what's the album? Death by Rock and Roll, I think. I'm just trying to find it.
Just listen to all of the Pretty
Christian.
Reckless. All their albums are good.
Pretty Reckless.
Death by Rock and Roll is
Yeah.
the newest one. That's the one that was like their comeback album.
Yeah, their early stuff is very kind of like Nirvana / Oasis, and that's
Okay.
I mean that's what they kind of said that
Nice.
that like it's guitar rock, but she's got a fucking amazing voice.
Nice.
Bearing in mind that their early stuff, like their 2014 album "Going to Hell," 2014 album. She was born in 1993.
Wow.
You know, so
her voice is really kind of matured as well. Like
she smoked
the
a lot.
new stuff is really good.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, she's a heavy smoker, lots of recreational drugs use, and you know, she's very public about that. You know, that kind of. There's a really interesting interview where it was kind of she was point blank asked whether she thought that she might have been at risk of succumbing to the 27 Club. You know, all the rock stars that passed away at 27, and she's like, well, you know, we were touring when Chris Cornell took his life. He took his life right after our last show with him. And that was completely unexpected. And then, like, several months later, a key member of our band died in a car accident. And yeah, it was a bad time. So she basically didn't make any music for like several years. And then Death by Rock and Roll was that point where they came back. That was released like last year. And it's phenomenal. When it's rock. So, I mean, Doug, I know you won't like it. Because...
I mean, it sounds to me like Happiness Begins. Basically the same story.
Yeah. Sounds good.
So,
can't wait.
Who is your favorite band then, Doug?
I don't really. I mean,
really.
Yeah, actually, I mean, Doug likes lots of stuff, don't you? Right?
I do like.
Okay.
I'm not.
I mean,
really
it is hard to say your favorite because sometimes.
I couldn't say that either.
And the funny thing is, like, I go through phases where I like certain things. Like, if I'm really big on lyrics. Like, if a lyric like speaks to me, and like it has a good melody to it, like I will definitely like listen to it too. Like, I think there's some brilliant songwriters out there that really make some cool stuff. Working in the high school though, like I've been like my eyes have been open to a lot of rap lately, and like that's a whole other world that like I definitely that's not really something that that's probably one area of music.
Some good lyricists though.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's some brilliant people out there making really, but then there's some people that are making music out there that I'm just like, you do realize that it's just basically the same line over and over and over again, right? Like it's like there's not really a whole lot of lyrical like genius here on this.
But I always felt that rap is mostly percussive looping, right? A lot of it is just that it's using the voice as another drum beat, effectively.
Yeah.
For me, it's the whole thing for me.
Spice Girls.
It's no, I mean with music, it's I don't pick out individual parts. It's like, which is why I really like synth because it all kind of blends together. So for me, music, I find it hard to pick out individual parts. I listen to the whole. So lyrics are just like another instrument for me. I don't know if it's the way my brain works, but it's not like I have to kind of go away and individually read the lyrics to know what they're actually saying.
I'm trying, man.
Okay, yeah.
Like I love when you listen to a song and then there's like two lines of lyric that just all of a sudden just speak to you, and then all of a sudden it just clicks with you, and you're like, oh my god, this makes me want to dive into the song even more. Like I love it when songs have that moment with listeners, and I don't know. I don't know.
The chorus line from 25 by the Pretty Reckless did that to me.
Did it?
That whole song, it stands out from the album because it sounds like a James Bond song, if that makes sense. Like it should have been on a James Bond intro. But it's all about expectations when you're growing up and how you always think that at a certain age you're going through this and this and this and this and this. And that 25, I'm still alive much longer than expected for a man. And it's like, whoa. Yes, phenomenal.
I think for me it has to be a band where like the vocals take the lead for me to be able to pick out the lyrics. So like I used to really like Cake.
Yes.
Yep. I like Cake,
because his voice is so strong in those, like I would actually hear the lyrics instead of it just becoming
Cake, Goo Goo Dolls.
sound.
Cake is wonderful.
I saw them in Manchester. They were England.
So I'm a big fan of Sister Hazel. I don't know if you guys all have Sister Hazel.
I've been listening to Sister Hazel on your recommendation, and they're fine. But I'm not loving
It's not
them
too late for whiskey.
They're like one of those, like, I think they're from Gainesville, Florida. Yeah, they're from Gainesville, Florida. So he's got like a really kind of like a southern kind of vibe to his delivery on.
They're from Gainesville, Florida.
Gainesville, Florida. So I like Sister Hazel. I've seen them, I think, 4 or 5 times live.
Cool.
I've been listening to, again, a band that you may or may not have heard called The Harmonies. And Martin definitely won't have heard of The Harmonies. Kind of folk singer-songwriter stuff. And someone else whose name completely eludes me. But
I really like James Arthur.
Don't know James Arthur.
You know who James Arthur is in the UK?
No, I know who B. Arthur is.
You know who James Arthur is over there in the UK? He's like a UK artist. Like,
he wasn't very good here, so we got rid of him.
I think he was like one of the winners of the X Factor.
Oh yeah, I don't watch that crap.
Oh no. Recently I've been listening to Dance with the Dead, and I've kind of got back into Stereolab, who I used to listen to a lot.
Wow.
And like I just kind of, I don't know why it popped up. Maybe because I've been listening to some. Yeah, I don't know, but that popped up on Spotify, and I started listening to it again. I was like, yeah, God, I really like these guys so much. So yeah, I've been listening to Stereolab again, and like bit of French disco pop.
Radiohead. You guys listen to Radiohead? I love listening to Radiohead.
Gregory Alan Isakov is the other person I've been listening to a lot. Also, you probably don't know. Lots of singer-songwriter stuff. Elephant Tree, rather. Ruby the Hatchet. Yeah.
Trying to think what else I've been listening to recently.
And go on.
One of my go-to kind of synth things is the soundtrack to Turbo Kid. Have you ever seen Turbo Kid?
No.
The soundtrack is it Le Matos? They're like a synthy. Yeah, exactly. they're like a synthy band. So yeah, lots of that kind of stuff recently.
So there we go. We've covered films. We've covered Zine Quest. We've covered Call Me or Not. We've covered music,
Meatloaf,
sports, boy bands.
Oh, UFC tomorrow night, big fight. If you're an MMA fan, I'd love to talk to you about it. Join my Discord.
Yes, do that. Join Doug's Discord to talk about sport.
Yeah, yes, go there.
We'll be back next week, where this show will probably be no more than an hour.
What?
Unless Doug's with us.
and we go on a 2-hour rant about how
2 hours.
Phil and Martin just are Joe Bros along with me.
I mean,
how I've made 2 new Joe Bro
Joe
fans.
Bro. Is that a real
Has it
thing?
happened?
People
Yeah,
are
that's what they
called
call
Joe
their fans,
Bros.
Joe Bros.
So hang on, all of
The female fans as well have the
They're
same
called
name?
Joe Bros.
Even
Joe
the females?
Bros.
Yeah,
Female?
I mean,
okay, fair
Okay.
enough. Fair dues.
Doug, if you can get hold of it, here's a TV series for you to look up. It's a British comedy called Friday Night Dinner.
okay.
Doesn't have
And-
any of the Jonas Brothers in it though.
No,
Doesn't
it
have
doesn't
the
have
Jonas Brothers in
It
it,
doesn't have Nick
but-
Jonas or Joe or Kevin.
But no, but for some reason it's just popped into my head, and you need to see it. It's just about Friday night kids who are, kind of just in their late teens, early 20s, come home every Friday night to have dinner with their parents, and it's always stupid. And yeah, it's just a funny British comedy.
Interesting.
But the reason why it dropped into my head is because the father always refers to girls when talking to the kids as females. Have you got any females?
I'm not sure I want to watch that show
Yeah, I don't
after that.
It's really it's Tamsin Gregg. It's got someone whose name eludes me because I'm quite tired, from the Green Wing, Mark something. And a couple of people from Shameless. Yeah, it's good. So that's your homework. We'll listen to parts of, if not all of, the Jonas Brothers.
Just put it.
entire back
Just
catalogue.
put the Jonas Brothers on. Year 3000. That's a classic.
That's when we'll listen to them. Yeah.
Year 3000. Listen to the Year 3000. That's one of the early hits. It's amazing. I think they're like 12 when they're singing
12,
that.
Yeah. No, I'll listen to the album that you've recommended. Beautiful bullcrap, whatever it's called.
Happiness Begins.
That one.
And that's what's going to happen in your lives when you put that on.
I will. I
Happiness
promise you.
is
I'll
going to
listen
begin.
I'm talking crap, but I will listen to it, and we will discuss it. If Douglas can join us next week, we will discuss it.
I will
next week.
try. I will try. I can't make
And
any
if you
promises.
can't, then we will probably talk about it anyway, and just say how bad it is.
I think if Doug hadn't joined, me and you might have just gone, fuck it, after about 10 minutes.
We would have talked a little bit about the things that we've received in the mail, and then
it was like, we're done.
Yeah, we've already spoken for an hour.
We're gonna get good night's sleep.
Yeah, what time is it where you are, Doug?
It's only 6:40, and then
what we're learning is that Doug's wife
it's
isn't home
20
yet.
to 1 here, so I'm gonna go to bed.
Doug, is your wife home yet?
No, she's not home yet.
That's what I thought. Doug's wife isn't home yet, so he doesn't have to cook dinner. Right. Good night, everyone. It has been wonderful. If you have, for some reason, enjoyed this, please like and subscribe.
For some reason.
Nice.
We'll be back next week.
Night, Venberg, you Joe Bro.
Yeah, good to see you, Venberg. Thank you for your support and your patronage, as always. And next week, we'll be back on YouTube at 8 p.m. UK time to talk about 3 random good-ish, maybe Kickstarter projects. And from 9 o'clock, where we discuss Jonas Brothers and their crimes against humanity.
Finally, I'm getting my way. I'm getting a Jonas Brothers show.
Yes.
To drink, Doug.
It's going to be the Kickstart Your Weekend
with Jonas Brothers.
28th of January, Jonas Party.
Yeah, and don't forget to check out DCC soon. Coming to the Dark Orb.
Yes. Oh, yeah. So that's on Wednesday. So this Wednesday, we're going to have an actual play on Twitch of Dungeon Crawl Classics with a ridiculous number of players because our GM didn't pay attention to how many people he'd invited. So if I play, that's like 6 players. So I think I will probably just press buttons in the background. That will be probably 1/8 of a single scenario because when you've got that many players, it's just impossible to drive any story forward. But it's Dungeon Crawl Classics, which is freaking amazing. Also, we have been in talks with a couple of authors, and we might have some actual plays coming up very soon. one of which I'm likely to run, will probably be Warpland. And by Gabriel Quiroga, who also wrote Hell Knight, which is currently funding for about another 30 seconds. Going back it now because it's amazing. And Mitch Wallace, we've been talking to. So I'm hoping to get an actual play finally together. Doug, you've already played this. Chew.
I have not. No, we had to cancel because we had connectivity issues.
Oh, man. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
we might finally get Chew on the show.
Nice.
And possibly also Necrobiotic. So,
Sweet.
I mean, scheduling-wise, Doug, if we can wing it and you're free and you want to join for either of those,
Yeah,
you are, of course, welcome.
yeah. I mean, I'm busy designing my new Jonas.
Oh, I'm
Brothers
busy.
RPG.
I'm already busy that day, but
I'm designing the new Jonas Brothers RPG where you can actually role play as the Jonas Brothers and create the greatest music of all time.
Excellent. Which system are you going to use?
That's definitely a Year Zero engine game.
Are your stats just the names of the brothers?
I mean, you each have a specialty. That
you could do
one of them sings. One of them does lead singing. One of them is like acting and like is really popular and wants to kind of break up the. One of them just plays backup and plays bass. And
here's an idea. Why don't you use the system from Sexy Battle Wizards? Do you know that system?
I don't.
So basically, when you create your character who's a sexy battle wizard, you have 3 stats.
We were going to finish. What's happened?
Shut up. Shut up, Martin.
Hey, Martin, these are the rails. This is what Doug does.
You have to remember, I always thought it was me, but Doug, it's you.
Mrs. Doug isn't home. So this is what happens.
Martin, you need to come over to a convention and we need to hang out because we will never go to sleep, man.
No, we just keep going for forever.
Sexy Battle Wizards, you have 3 stats, Sexy Battle and Wizard. And basically, whenever you want to do something, you have to use one of those stats in order to achieve it. So you just need to work out the equivalent. So with Sexy Battle Wizard, if you're sexy, you're very good at seduction. If you're a battle, you're really good at fighting. And if you primary stat is wizard, you're really good at magicking. And you have to do that's all you have.
Look at that comment, Phil.
No, I've got one better. It's Joe Borg. Joe Borg, the RPG.
Joe Borg. So Merc Bro would be like Dark Brothers.
Yeah. No, we don't want...
that's Jonas. A whole different one.
Yeah, no, we don't want
Jonas
that.
Story would be the Jonas Fort.
Like there Jonas we go. That's it right there. I'm designing it. Jonas.
What? Oh, do you remember we talked about oh God. We talked about
Martin's never coming back ever again.
Do you remember we discussed Merc Pony?
Yes, we designed it. Phil, we need to turn it off because Martin's gonna get like 5 minutes of sleep tonight.
Do you know what the best thing is? I know what I'm
up and make breakfast.
Mate, Martin, how's your health today, by the way?
My health. I had 80. No, sorry, getting my numbers mixed up because I'm probably still feverish. I had 38.5, so definitely feverish.
And that is 101.3.
Yeah.
So yeah, Martin is enjoying having children at this point in time.
Yeah, it's really good. They just bring all the things back. It's not COVID apparently, but
according to your lateral flows.
Yeah, which is probably wrong. It probably is COVID. Yeah.
No,
so...
Martin, you've got Brovid.
You got Brovid.
Oh no. I'm gonna come out at the other end and I'm just gonna be a complete Joe Bro.
Yes. If that's actually a thing, if that's the next variant of COVID, then I'm all like, sign me up.
And then I'm gonna form Broco and start distributing merch.
Are you gonna go Broco down in Acapulco?
Phil, please can we stop?
Yes.
See you all. Thank you so much.
Like, subscribe, and all that.
Night,
stuff.
bye.
Buttons pressed. Bye.
It's off.
Good to see you all. Thanks very much for your support.